All right, guys, we are back and hopefully with a less of a
Hello.
godly echo. Can everyone hear us
Uh,
okay?
How we sounding?
I think
I don't hear it on Twitch on my end.
I think the
Do we
echo's
sound
gone.
pretty?
I think we fixed
If you,
it.
good
Yay!
job, Rob.
Technical difficulties are loved by everyone in the IT industry.
Hey, though, if you wanted to hear a little bit more from an echo, check back on our next Monday night campaign after What the Lurks in the Dark is over.
Ooh.
Some spooky stuff. Some real spooky
Yes.
stuff.
We're following one spooky with another spooky.
Much spooky.
But
Hello,
hello,
welcome to Misty
everyone.
Mountain Streaming.
Welcome to the chaos of what could be the Feywild. We don't really know. I am Riflestead. Of course, many of you have been here, know exactly who I am and how stupid I am as well. But we are going to be jumping back into the next episode of our campaign here. I'll let everyone kind of do a quick little shout out what they got going on, and we'll finish up with Rob, who will do some quick announcements, and then we'll jump right into it because we're already quite a bit behind. But I had a great weekend at PCC, and I got to meet some of the Misty Mountain gaming crew there. I'm not gonna say who I didn't get to meet, but they may or may not also be on the screen. But anywho,
Actually, all of us. Technically, you didn't meet all of us there.
None of
It's
us
true.
were there.
that's true. That's why I
it's
didn't
true.
name anybody. But it was a great time, and I know Rob was up in Calgary, and I'll let him talk about that. But yeah, Tyler, what do you got going on?
Well, I have a sleeping old lady in my lap who's gonna come say hello again.
By incredible coincidence, so do I. It's just underneath the camera.
Oh,
Yeah,
Sleeping old lady in the studio.
But
She was just here when I got
yeah,
here. I don't know.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
only
But,
slightly. It's
yeah,
fine.
I'm trying. Yeah. But yeah, I'm Cheesecake Panda. Yeah, you guys watched me Monday run a game for 2 of these people, so
It was so
and
fun.
we'll be back Monday again for more of the spookies.
The spookies. I gotta watch the episode, the VOD.
You gotta.
Everyone did great,
It was
and like
good.
we haven't quite gotten to the tinfoil hat that is Steven's character yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah, I was.
We're like on the precipice.
I was
of it.
dead to the world
Tinfoil
on
hat,
Monday.
nor
So.
the chaos that is Maddie's character.
I can't wait to unleash her, like in her entirety.
Speaking of Maddie, what do you got going on?
Hi. I played with Tyler and Rob on Monday, and it was a lot of fun.
You decided to get in tonight.
Yeah, I figured, why not keep the ball rolling?
Totally.
I'll come play with these guys again. Did I freeze?
A
little
Everyone
bit.
started looking at me weird.
Yeah.
But that dressing up, painting my face different colors. They use.
The huge. The life of a cosplayer.
What a huge you have.
I painted myself
mine.
pink last night. Might post a
Ooh.
picture of
I
her
saw.
tomorrow.
Felt cute.
My-
Might be pink later. IDK.
My little pink country girl. Love her. So, yeah, that's
Cool.
what's up with me. My name's Maddie, by the way. I didn't say that at the beginning, but hey, guys.
And last but not least, Mr. Rob, what do you got going on?
Not least, I feel possibly least. Hi, I'm
No.
Rob. I'm the D&D wannabe. I am the guy broadly responsible for this being a Twitch channel. And I have a YouTube channel and a podcast where I talk about basically this. Just D&D, D&D, and more D&D. I work for Misty Mountain Gaming, the company that makes all of this possible and who associates itself with cool people like 3 people who are on the screen right now. And I was working for them in Calgary this past week, all week, as Rob implied, or actually stated, that's more than implying. Canada is super cool. I couldn't wait to share with you guys that in the States, Canadians have a reputation for being very polite to a comical extent. And I found that to be largely true. I got off the airplane. I went to go get a meal at the airport food court. And within 20 minutes of touching down in Canada, I was handed a free beer by a complete stranger. He just walked by, says, I can't take, he's Indian fellow, I cannot take this on the plane here. And thank you very much. He immediately pegged me from a visual standpoint. Out of all the other people in food court, thought, that guy needs a beer.
That guy's a beer guy, and he's earned it.
Was the
And I
beer
was
good?
delighted. I mean, it was not a craft beer or anything. You know, it wasn't anything. It was a beer that tasted like beer, but it was a quality beer that tasted like beer. So I was very happy with that. It was a good show. We're gonna go back next year. It's gonna be really good, and it did mean me missing out on Planet, which I was genuinely sad about because I was looking forward to meeting Sophie and Rob and Sheepish Lamb and a few others of you there. But so sorry for plans changing last minute. I was talking about it all month on the stream, how I would be there. But if any of you are going to be at MegaCon next month in Orlando, I'll be there, and I cannot not be there. The whole company is going to be there, and I literally mean the whole company. There's not going to be a warehouse team. There's not going to be a social media team. It's just we're all going to be there.
So order your dice before then if you want to get them shipped out quickly.
Yeah, because we might be selling out of some stuff come MegaCon.
Mhm.
Yep, it might be
good
me buying
thinking.
all of it.
But it's going to be super exciting. We're going to have 3 locations, so you probably won't fail to find us on the show floor if you're going to be there. And we got some other cool stuff that weekend too, and more on that story as it develops. But we're going to be doing some nerd shit. It's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of nerds and nerd shit, thank you to Shurjin071, Good Mead 324, Furry Petty Officer. Hope you get promoted soon, pal. And Akilos 5 and Junebug 119 for follows. Welcome to the party. Welcome to Misty Mountain Streaming. Thank you for helping grow our channel. This is a channel where we experience and tell good stories, and our favorite way to do that is Dungeons and Dragons, which is going to be pretty much what we're doing here tonight. Speaking of followers and subscribers and the like, we are getting ever closer to our 500 follower giveaway. We're in the high 400s now. When we get there, I'm going to be doing a giveaway on stream for someone from our followership who is going to get everything they need to run D&D. If you are just checking this thing out and you haven't played D&D before and you don't have any of the stuff, I'll set you up with the stuff. And if you have played D&D before and you just like having the stuff, I will send you more stuff. I'm planning to give away several sets of dice, trays, bags. Basically, I will keep going until John tells me I have to stop. And then, it's going to be...
No, that's not treats. That's not treats, no.
No. Y'all have got the pretty stone glass ones. I got my metal ones because I'm a metal guy. Also, subscriber-wise, we have already blown out of the water our 100 subscriber goal for this month, which means we did it last month too. So from last month, I'm going to be dressing up as a goblin on Friday's stream. My Sophie is going to be walking me through doing the makeup for that, and then we're going to do a dice giveaway. So if you want to watch someone who's very proficient in putting on makeup for cosplays and stuff, Sophie will be doing it. And if you want to watch me embarrassing myself, I will also be there. And then if you like getting free stuff, also come. So it's going to be a good one to check in on. And next month, probably the MegaCon weekend, if everything goes well, you guys have contributed to the channel enough that I'm going to be dressing up as a purple tiefling druid. And not only am I going to be doing that for your enjoyment, I will be having a professional photographer take pictures of me in said attire. And because you guys continued to be generous, those photos will be suggestive, quasi-illicit, and spicy in
Ooh.
nature. So we have the subscriber goal bar down there. You guys have already crushed 100. So I put the goal at 125. I don't know what I could possibly offer you to debase myself more, but we will, maybe something will occur to me before the break, and I can offer it then. But you guys have already been so supportive. And I'm lumping these three in with me when I say this, that I don't feel so alone. We are very humbled by having this community, by the generosity that you have showed, even though some of the people on screen with me have contributed. But I love all of you guys. We are so lucky to have a community like you, and thank you for continuing to help us grow and encouraging us in this weird shit that we do. And real quick, before we get started on the rest, just a quick howdy to Dancer Hawk, to Gothic Gamer. Gamer was the first one in the chat tonight, I think. Irish Mac is here. Grimforge is here, some of our favorites. Simply Yuki and Sprinkle Lich King have returned. All these guys being active in the chat.
The OGs.
And if I didn't just name you, it's because we haven't become great friends yet. Say stuff in the chat, and I'll get to know you, and I'll shout you out soon. But these guys have paid their dues. They're OGs.
Well, is that all we got?
That's it. I'm running out of my Irish coffee, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get into tonight's session. I believe our good friend Cheshire was going to be doing a recap for us this week.
Yeah, I can try that. As with all of my D&D sessions that I run, I have prepared nothing. So let's see how this goes.
And scene.
While you prepare for a second, let me just share. Ori's asleep in my lap. Look at the leg.
Oh,
It's just hanging
out. I love it when they stick a leggy out.
I didn't know we slept the same way.
Her little chicken legs, yeah.
I got a little tickle in my throat. We're going to see how long I continue to do the voice. It's so much softer than my normal voice. It's actually weird. Okay. So we, and by we, of course, I mean Scinn and Sawyer and myself. We were coming off the back of quite a humbling defeat that almost cost me my life. We were rescued in the 12th hour by a group of more seasoned and capable adventurers who sent us forward to a tavern at the end, where we gathered and recouped ourselves, and I was feeling admittedly quite low, discouraged, and because we were in the Feywild, you see, and we'd been cast there with very little ceremony from our everyday lives, and was realizing that if I were capable of coming so close to death quite by accident and so suddenly, that the same might happen to my traveling companions, which I would very much like to see alive and healthy and going on to continue their lives. So, we woke up, of course, as we do in the mornings, came downstairs towards an incredible spread. Sawyer, I believe, asked for 2 of everything, and 2 of everything was brought, which was more than any of us expected, and given to us for free. I'm not sure why. We a local paper, which had some very interesting articles and headlines, among which we believe that the woman running this inn, I have her name here somewhere. Let me see. Susie, the tavern keep, may be involved in some criminal activity. Some royal tots had been taken, you see, and I believe that's what we ate. They very closely resembled the picture in the paper, but I digress anyway. Scinn and Sawyer, it seemed, had made friends of one of the tavern patrons, who was asking them to hunt a rare species of bird So we followed it. We tracked it, trailed it as best we could, thinking that we might be up to such a challenge. And then we decided that we weren't, and we did not do that at all. We turned around and did something else. We decided to return to our previous escapades of looking for the toll road. So we found what we believed was the toll road, some raised walkways above the water. And we heard some Herringon singing and partying up at the stump that the road was leading towards. And so, perhaps unwisely, trying to be diplomatic, I hailed them, made them aware of us, and invited them to take part in discourse. It would not go terribly well for us. They were most impolite, and it wound up becoming a row. A row that did very much not go our way. See, while the rank and file of these brigands were rather easily dealt with, their leader, Agden Longscarf, possessed a magical branding iron. And only after we were all struck with it, did we realize that it made him invisible to us. Very inconvenient when you're trying to defend yourself from and kill someone. Well, it did not go well. In spite of my magic and all of my best efforts, I was obliged to watch Scinn and Sawyer fell. Everything that I did could not stop it. I couldn't even avenge them. I also. Anyway. But we're not dead yet. It seems that these Herringon have other plans. And, what those are, I suppose we'll see. That's all.
Perfect. So,
Welcome for this week. My new character is Jackie Chan. No, I'm kidding.
So, you all were basically beaten to the point of you being unconscious by Agdon and his brigand crew. He tried to make a deal with you to basically become his prisoner, for what reasons you don't know. But it was the only thing that seemed fair after, you killed a bunch of his men.
He should be dead too, if not for the Feywild.
You guys are kind of coming to by, you feel a breeze that kind of is blowing. You hear the sounds of some water are nearby, and you're very groggy. You kind of have that almost like a hungover type feeling, and as your eyes are starting to come to, you realize that you are in what appears to be a cage that is dangling about 35 to 50 feet in the air above what you can only assume is a lake or a deep marshy area below you. Connected to the top of this cage is like a crane arm, essentially. So you're out over the water, whereas the crane is attached to what looks to be a dock that is attached to a house. And as you are kind of coming to, from one of the other cages beside you, you hear a voice call out to you, well, you all took quite the beating.
Well,
Oh, you're only at the finest viewing point of all of Hither.
Ian's
Sawyer's just
still
gonna kind
out.
of. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you started. Go ahead.
Sawyer's just gonna kind of like get herself up a little bit, and she's just gonna start sort of casing the cage that we're in. See what's up. See if there's any weak points.
So
As you guys do whatever.
So the first thing that you see is the cage appears to be prominently like all iron. Like I said, it's hanging from wooden beams that extend from the balcony. And there just appears to be 3 cages. So there's an empty one, the one that you 3 are in, and then there's the one that the other voice came from. And I'd say there's probably 4 to 5 feet between each one.
They like just bars, or are they boxes? Can we see out? Can we see into theirs?
You can definitely see out. They're very airy. Not big enough that you could really slide through. Think of it almost like a giant bird cage. Like a swinging door on it, kind of a domed top to it.
So the person speaking is visible to us?
Yes.
What are they?
They are a satyr that is completely naked.
As we do.
Just hanging out in his cell. And he says out to you like, you guys put up quite a fight down there. But as I've seen many a fights go, Agdon doesn't mess around.
With all the grace of a very incapacitated drunk college girl, Cien is laying on the floor with his hair all over the place and is just completely not moving. He's just still out.
Do we have our stuff?
Your weapons, your gear is all like you still have your clothing, but your gear has all been taken while you were
My
unconscious.
staff. They took my staff. Sawyer like kicks one of the bars a little bit.
Okay, and you kind of feel the whole cage start to swing a little bit.
Sorry. I did not mean to listen to swing.
On the floor, you just hear kind of like a as he starts to wake up, and he's just like making like, "Oh my head," like really loud noises.
Oh,
I begin to sympathize with Sir Talabar a bit.
you know Sir Talavar? May I ask how you know of him?
And
Like
who
our
are
best
you?
friend.
Sorry, let's rewind. My name's Vansel. And I myself am friends with Sir Talavar. And he's not once mentioned a interesting party like yourselves.
We met him like 4 days ago in the Tickle Tower.
Ah, yes, the Tickle Tower. I had quite the night there.
Sure you did. No, we actually helped Sir Talavar out of like a really tough spot. We're really close friends now. So.
I'm glad to hear he didn't get caught. Last I knew, they were trying to get a hot air balloon out of here and to go warn the queen, and I unfortunately was unable to join them as I was stuck in here.
Is there a visible lock anywhere on the cage? Like, is it a padlock? Is it a lock with a keyhole?
There is a padlock on the outside of the cage. It would be like the side. So as like the arm would swing in, the door would open up to like the balcony edge.
It would probably be Arcana or something, or Insight, I'm not sure, but could I figure out if the bars seem magical at all? Like if anything about this cage seems magical?
I'll just go ahead and tell you there's nothing magical. It's just an iron cage. Nothing super special.
Okay.
It looks kind of dingy. Has some mild staining on it. Looks like it could be like mud, dirt, maybe some rust.
Mm-hmm.
Do we, besides Vansel, is there anyone around us? Can we detect any other signs of life?
From your
Even below us, or
from your viewpoint, you see some Harengon off in the distance, kind of towards the off in the distance, the tollway that you guys were fighting on. It's quite some ways away now, but you can still see like people walking on the bridges. You do hear what sounds like, I don't know if bullywugs talk in a certain language, but you hear closer than the Harengons that you see, but still a little ways away.
bullywugs speak bullywug.
Bullywug. So, they're just over there speaking their bullywuggies.
Yep, that one cleric in the chat's got it.
They speak bullywug. Can Sawyer just try to punch the padlock and see what happens?
So the padlock is on the other side of the door.
So if she
So
sticks her
stick an
arm
arm
like
through?
out, can she try and go like bam
Yeah.
and pull it back?
Yeah. I will have you roll.
If that doesn't work, I can try a Chaos Bolt at some part of this cage.
Roll me a strength check.
A strength check or an attack?
A strength athletics check.
Okay.
Guidance for Sawyer from Gothic Gamer, by the way.
Yes. Thank you very much. I was planning on using that with this roll. Okay, here we go. Okay. I got an 18, thanks to a 4 on my
Good.
guidance.
Oh wow.
Woo!
So as you have your arm out and you're
Punch
kind of
that
like
lock.
punching down at the lock, nothing appears to be happening, and Vansel's just kind of over in his cage chuckling. He's like, "What are you doing? You don't think I haven't tried that? Like,
Well, I'm not going to just sit around and lay out in a cage. I'm going to try.
You're making
Get
a lot of
out.
noise. I'm just trying to, enjoy what's left out here. Last thing I want is you to like make a lot of noise and the cook comes out here to get me. So
Well, I'm going to make more noise then, so the cook does come out here,
Yeah,
and maybe I'll punch him.
So sorry that our incarceration has inconvenienced you, Vansel.
I mean, the oldest goes first, I guess. You got to cycle through the meat somehow.
I'm sure you have tried patting away at your cage or whatnot, but suffice it to say that Sawyer is capable in ways that many people are not.
Thank you.
Believe me, she looks pretty buff. Are any of you, by chance, mischievous? Maybe able to, pick a lock from time to time? If you're, looking for some stuff that, may or may not belong to you?
Not a
Out
thief,
of
if that's what you're
character.
implying.
I would
Out
never
of character,
assume.
I do not have thieves' tools, but I am proficient in sleight of hand, and I have darts.
Well, we probably had darts.
Yeah, I don't have them anymore.
I was gonna say I have woodcarver's tools, but you said they took all our stuff. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
does anyone
No,
have a
why
bobby
don't-
pin?
No, but
Lucinda.
Is Lucinda still here?
Check Lucinda, there's got to be bobby pins in there. She's got to have them.
Lucinda is
Do
still
we
there.
still have her? Okay, he's gonna take it and like shake her upside down and see if anything falls out of her.
Don't do
Um,
that. There's no
rabbit
floor to
squirrel.
this thing. Or is there a floor? I think it's just
It's
bars.
just bars. So you see a few bobby pins fall out,
Sawyer,
and they kind of
holds her
like
hands
bounce off
underneath.
of the bars, and there's just like 2 or 3 of them, and they kind of fall down.
can I try to do a check to grab one with like my?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
Because you have to deflect
reflexes?
missiles, don't you?
I do. Wait, yeah, I have deflect missiles now. Can I try and grab one with that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, okay. How do I do that? Where's my deflect missiles? Here it is. Okay. Uh,
It's gonna be about when someone rolls an attack to hit you. But I'm
True.
just saying that your reflexes are to
My
the point where you
reflexes
can
are
snatch
fast
things out of
now.
the air.
Oh,
so
so,
should this be
Yeah.
like a sleight of hand or?
For the viewers and also the players, as you woke up what seemed to be a full rest, so your health points were restored, and you leveled up, so you are level 3 now.
yeah, boy. Now I feel fucking capable.
For anyone curious, Sawyer's official subclass, because I know some people were asking. I was originally going to do open hand, but she's actually chosen the way of the long death because she has seen what she and her friends have gone through thus far and wants to stay up to fight for them.
I didn't pick anything cool like that. I just got some sorcery points and another stupid spell.
That's right, because you sorcerers get to pick earlier than the rest of us do.
Mm-hmm.
I was planning to be a College of the Spirits bard from before I found out that I was even going to be playing in this game. Just the next time I was going to get a chance, I was going to be a College of Spirits bard. I didn't choose spirits. I chose something else, which I will hopefully reserve for later.
We love a good reveal.
We'll see.
I will try to help Sawyer to grab bobby pins, so either we both can roll or you can roll with advantage.
So you can roll with advantage.
Okay, I'll roll with advantage. This is sleight of hand.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, rolled a 19 plus
Ooh.
3.
Slaps.
Ooh.
Okay. So as Cian's shaking Lucinda over, like trying to get bobby pins to fall out, you see a couple fall down. They kind of bounce off and down, and what appears to be one last one falls out, bounces off the bar, and you reach up and you snag it at like the last second.
Like a praying mantis.
Just, ha,
Ha!
I got it. And Sawyer literally, like, not anticipating actually grabbing one, like, pulls back and is like, oh, there you go. I know who wants to try.
well, I could always try. It might not work, but
And Vansel's like,
that's what chaos. That's what chaos bolt is for if it doesn't work.
have the utmost
Vansel
faith in
is off
you.
on the side, like, how'd you guys sneak that in here? I mean, I don't want to tell you how I had to sneak mine in here, but, you know, I was just going to give it to you if you were willing to help me get out of here.
Buddy, you've been nothing but rude. I don't know if I'll let you
Yeah.
out of here.
And he's gonna fly over and start trying to pick the lock up.
And you don't get to know the mysterious ways that Lucinda works. She's a being of her own design.
Lucinda appears
a
to be kind of a
classy-
mess now from all of the
She's a
bobby pins
classy
popping
lady.
There's
Sawyer
definitely like
sits
like
with
a
the
rabid
wig.
squirrel in there somewhere. Yeah.
While Cian is trying to pick the lock, Sawyer's gonna try and like puff Lucinda back up into her former form.
To her former glory.
I'd
And shape her, you know, like
Are
lick
we-
her thumb
Just
and
wait,
like
eventually
curve
I'm
it
gonna end up-
around.
Just wait, eventually Lucinda's gonna look like the pirate wig from Our Flag Means Death.
Are we all proficient in sleight of hand? Is that something we all share?
No, I just have high
I'm
dex.
proficient. I'm proficient.
As of becoming level 3 as a bard, I'm an expert in it.
Ooh.
I got
Whoa.
expertise.
Ooh.
So I will give it a go if you fail.
4.
You give it a
Okay.
try.
All right, we will use. I bought fancy new dice for a certain character you guys get to meet in a couple of weeks, but this one feels very CN,
Ooh.
so I'm gonna roll
That
it
is
for
very
him.
CN.
It do.
This
Before
will be
before
a
we do
dex
that-
check.
Can you please? Thank you. You didn't eat it, so I guess that's a good thing. I still have to ink the numbers. Okay. Dex check. Dex, or are we doing sleight of hand because we're trying to pick a lock? Asking because the number is different.
Correct. So the book is telling me a dex.
Just a dex? Okay, then that is a 14.
Okay. So as you are fiddling around trying to pick that lock, you hear a few of the tumblers start to click, and then your bobby pin kind of like snaps off.
The end, like, does like the child thing of like turning around, like dead staring at Cheshire with this broken bobby pin, but he's still like fluttering in the air. Just we might have a problem.
So,
It's all right. Few people are left to rot in cages. And it sounds from Vansel as though they come to take people out now and again. Maybe we just pin our hopes against freeing ourselves in that moment.
Yeah, like wait by the door
Or-
and act all meek, and then when they open it, bam, I'll get them.
Or I can just chaos bolt the door.
And surely that will eventually
Like that.
destroy anything, I think. But
Now-
do you have enough magic for that?
now, guys. There's
yeah, man,
no
I'm
need.
fully.
Not
Hey,
now,
bud. Hey,
Hansel.
bud. You shush. You're naked.
Not
you don't get to
now.
talk.
Believe you think I'm naked because I chose to be. Those Herongons stole my clothes. It's so breezy up
I'm not
here.
sure I believe you, bud, because they didn't steal ours.
Well, I mean, if you don't believe me, I can let you know that where we are, if that's helpful, if that builds some
You
trust.
see, we asked a moment ago, and you simply said that we were at the finest viewing point in all of Hither. So you're not terribly forthcoming.
Well,
Yeah.
you know,
If you would like to be our friend, and it sounds like suddenly you do, now that you might stand something to benefit from associating yourself with us, then perhaps it's time for you to take a step towards that. Now, this is Scinn, this is Sawyer, and my name is Cheshire. And if you want out, and you think that we can help you get there, we're willing to entertain the idea of cooperating with you, because we also do not like being in here. So, what happened? How did you get in here? And how do you propose we get out?
Well, Cheshire, satyr to satyr, I could really use a drink. I've been up here a while. But I'll let you know. We are at the... Have you all heard the name Lorna Slackjaw at all?
Not one of the ones that Rob remembers off the top of his head. Have we heard that one before?
You've seen...
Bavlorna.
You've...
Oh, Bavlorna. No,
Bavlorna.
Bavlorna Blightstraw. That one we've heard.
So
Yeah.
you've seen the name previously, but it may not have, the association may not have clicked.
Okay.
So, and like as he's saying, Lorna Slackjaw, he's kind of imitating, and like he tries to like drop his jaw as low as he can, almost like imitating and making fun a little bit. Like, oh, no, you haven't heard. Let's see. And he sits there and thinks for a minute. He's like, what's the other name? What's her actual name she goes by? And he's thinking real hard, and he's like, Blightstraw?
Yeah.
That's a name we've heard.
You've heard Bav?
The
Oh,
hag
okay.
the hag with all the baby versions of her.
Yeah. Have you seen them? They're terrifying. I hate them so much. Well, good news.
If you think they're terrifying, sir, you've not seen me when I'm angry.
It's very true. It's very true.
Well, I got some great news for you. If you were looking for her, you don't have to look much further because this is her house. So, yeah. But anyway, we can find a drink later inside when we all get out of here. You said you wanted to know how I got here. Well, I was making my way on the toll road, and I was ambushed by some Herringons that threw a net over me, trapped me, knocked me out, and stole all my belongings. Woke up here in this cage. I'm assuming much like yourselves. And I've been up here for quite some time, so I would much like to get out of here.
So,
We almost took them all down, so maybe a little different than you.
I mean, we did, in fact, take down a scarfed weirdo, but then he got back up. So mad about that. I'm still mad about that.
Also, Sata, have you ever met a pleasant Herringon? Because I realized that I haven't, and I'm rather done with them.
Oh, yes, there's plenty of nice Herringons.
Where do they live?
Well, ever since old Slackjaw took over this domain, they became a little salty towards everyone. But I'm excited to hear that you guys are, decent fighters, because me, I'm not. I'm just a trader. I travel and go on adventures looking for treasures that I can, eventually sell.
A trader. I thought you said a traitor.
Yeah.
That would have put a damper on our relationship.
I assure you, I'm no traitor. I was actually adventuring over here with Sir Talavar, and when we all got captured and he made his escape.
What I was gonna say is, Cheshire, that sword he gave me is so little. Do you think you could stick it in the lock and
Vansel looks over like,
maybe if we have it.
Is that Talavar? Oh wait, no, you don't have it. Never mind. Retcon.
I have it. Yeah.
What if Scinn had it strapped to his little leg, and they didn't find it?
It's pretty much out in the open at
okay.
most. Oh wait, we don't have it because they picked everything off. Never mind. I keep forgetting that.
Mhm.
Yeah, we got magic in our wilds.
Because I
have no magic.
Because I have my wig on. I keep forgetting that.
Mm-hmm. You got to start keeping everything in the wig.
Tell you
I
what.
think it's about time we just start
Our
trying to
wig
blow
of
the door
holding.
open.
It could be a wig of holding, and we've just never tried.
It's true. We should really start trying.
We should
If
try
you
that.
all are willing to, if I've earned your trust, here is a lock pick. I'm not gonna tell you where it was, but the last two that I had, I broke. So, if you guys use it to get yourselves out, can I count on you to get me out? Maybe we can help each other.
You go apologize for being rude and complaining about us being loud
I
first.
sincerely apologize. I honestly meant nothing by it. I didn't mean to offend you, I assure you.
And it's probably been a while since he's had a pleasant conversation.
It's true.
Yes, would you... How far are the cages apart, by the way?
Like 4 to 5 feet, roughly.
Okay. Would you present what you're offering, please? Just hold it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And he kind of reaches out of his armpit and pulls out one solid lockpick. And he's
prestidigitate that shit because I don't know where it's been.
Definitely not a prison wallet.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, it's so clean now, and he sticks his arm through the cage as far as he can out towards you guys, firmly grasping it so it doesn't fall because it's the last one he has. And
we start rocking the cage back and forth a little bit.
Ian's gonna be there and be like,
Sawyer, sorry. I'm real tiny. Just kind of shove my butt through the bar. Like, we'll see what happens. Just try to shove my butt through the bar.
So he just like grips Cian and just
Like
puts a little
like
bit of
face,
weight.
like hand on face. Yeah. Because I'm 2 feet. I'm the size effectively of like a 4-year-old child.
Mhm.
So.
So as the cage starts rocking, who is anybody reaching out towards it, or are you guys?
That seems like a Sawyer or CN job to Cheshire.
Sawyer probably has the longest arm, so
Yeah.
Probably.
she'll like
two arms come out. One that's normal length. One that's just teeny tiny.
So as you're rocking, the one cage is standing still, and like on the third or fourth swing, you get close enough to where you're able to grab it, and he just for a quick second like locks eyes with you, Sawyer, and he's like, "Please don't let go." And then as your cage starts to swing backwards, you have the lockpick now, and he's hoping to God that you don't drop it.
I'm firmly grasping.
Sprinkle sad.
Yep.
I very carefully like pull my arm back through the bars.
Just imagine if you had done that. Like, do not cross this line with your hand.
You pull that back out, and the cage is still like swaying and all that stuff, and you're no longer holding CN, but like his butt is definitely like stuck in the bar, so he's still just like hanging there.
And
I,
the cage starts to come to
It'll be fine.
a slow rock, and it becomes steady again.
I kind of tug
You know,
Cian out of the
I was gonna say,
bars.
you know at the end of the SpongeBob movie when he's hanging there, and like and like the wizard card. That's what this looks like.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Let me help. Hold on. Like, scoop
Comes
you
out
out.
with a pop.
Yeah. Just,
So, forgive me if you mentioned this and I just overlooked it. How high above what are we?
So the only thing below you is about a 50-foot drop, and it appears to be nothing but like water, not ocean, but deep water.
Well, in something of a show of solidarity towards Mansell, Cheshire starts taking off his clothes. All of those many ribbony belts, those yards and yards of fabric that he wears around his waist, and starts handing them to Sawyer. Says, "At some point, I think a rope is going to be helpful."
she's like making sure not to like. She's only making eye contact with you. She's not looking anywhere else.
He's always been Donald Duck in it. Okay, he's got
right,
fur.
yeah. But it's just the respect of the matter, even though there's fur everywhere. Just
The end is like that moment in The Office where Jim like slides between the two, but like it's the wig just sliding between both of you to like cover anything.
And if you'll let him accept the lockpick, he'll give it a go.
there you go.
All right, let's have Rob roll dice. I didn't roll any dice Monday because I couldn't. Let me grab this set. 'Cause I got which one is the correct camera? This one.
Ooh.
I
you
haven't-
got fancies.
I got played with these on stream yet. It's not focusing very well, but they're blue and brass and cool,
Yeah, pretty.
and I like them. They're a prototype that was offered to us that we decided not to go with, so they're the only ones in the company.
Oh,
Exclusive.
I've got 2 other sets like them, and we will maybe I'm considering giving them away as part of one of the giveaways or something. But we'll see what happens. with them.
These are sadly not Misty Mountain, but I just have to share. Look at how gorgeous these are.
those are pretty.
They are pretty.
My new creepy boy. Anyway. Ooh,
right.
I'm gonna use these for the monster
Ah.
There you
until
go.
we get to the next thing.
Ooh.
So this is just a dex check, right?
Correct.
Um,
Since you're-
you know what? I think there's.
Since you were an expert, does that mean you get advantage as well?
That means I get a bigger number to add to it.
Okay.
I double my proficiency bonus, which is 2. So normally I would get a +5. Now I'm adding a +7.
Ooh, okay.
And you know what? I really want to lock this up and do something good for my friends. So I rolled a high number, and I'm adding, but it's not sleight of hand, right?
Yeah,
It's just dex.
just dexterity.
So I'm not an expert in just dexterity.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and add the guidance that someone, I think probably Grim, just based on the past, got for me last time we played. So I'm going to add that. Okay.
Oh,
That
Greg
is.
just got you another guidance, so you're good.
Hey, thanks, Grim.
Yay.
Oh, and thank you, Mudzai, for the follow. Welcome to the party. We're playing some D&D.
Welcome.
We're trying to. Me and Lefty are busting out tonight.
Whoa, whoa,
Deal
whoa, whoa, whoa.
break.
I gotta hurry real quick. I got 1% of battery on my laptop. Oh dear
Oh.
God.
Oh, God.
Good.
Hi.
We're good.
Crisis
We're
averted.
good.
So I get a 3 to Dex. I rolled a 3 on the guidance, and I got an 18 on the die. So we're sitting at
Wow.
24 to pick this lock.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So you're reaching through and you're fiddling with the lock, and
Never done this before. Never tried.
like you're just like, am I doing it right? You start to hear.
I'm digging the pits of a
you
bobby pin out.
you feel some of the tumblers start to unlock, and after about a minute or two of trying, you actually feel the actual lock itself pop, and
Share
it comes unlocked.
that I was not lying.
Oh,
1%.
we're living life on the edge.
I also like to live dangerously. No, thank you, Grim. Cheshire will pull the lockpick out and turn to Sawyer, say, I think I got it. I can actually see why people do this. That was very pleasant.
Yeah,
It feels good to succeed at something. It's been a while since I've succeeded at anything. That was
Great job.
nice.
Yeah.
And I will hook because it was a padlock, you said, right? So
Yeah.
I'll just hook the padlock off, let it fall into the water, and push the door a little.
The door just kind of swings wide open, and it's facing the empty cage in front of you now. So the dock, or the balcony rather, would be kind of to your right.
CN will
Mm.
go out, because he can fly, he'll go out and kind of grab at the bottom of it and kind of gently turn it in the right direction and try to, pull it as close to the dock as he can.
Roll a perception for me real quick.
Perception, I think that's actually something I'm good at. Nope, I got nothing to add to that.
I'm thinking of a different character who's better at stuff.
I need to ink these new dice. 14 again.
Okay. So as you fly out with intents on trying to turn the cage, you see
Goodness, oh goodness.
you see the
Get up
arm
there.
that has the cage, and you see what looks to be kind of like a mechanism to kind of rotate the arm to basically bring the cage to the edge of the dock.
I'll go flip that then.
Is there one of those for every cage?
Yes.
I'll go flip our cage.
Okay. So as
Good
you
idea.
you
Well
start
done, Scinn.
you start spinning it a little bit, and the cage kind of comes up to the balcony there with just with you able to walk out to it. And on this balcony, it's a fairly good sized balcony. I didn't get the picture in OBS quick enough, but I did throw it in our Discord chat, and it is a map.
Okay.
So you guys can kind of
Okay.
follow along where we are.
Okay.
All right.
So we are on first floor?
Second floor.
Second floor.
Okay.
It'd be
Oh,
like,
I see.
yep,
Those
there's
little.
3 cages.
You can see the little.
Ah.
Yep. So you're on this balcony and
we
there.
don't have it up. There you go for viewers.
Oh, yes. I need to get it in there. I got some more artwork that I'll have to get in for next week. But so there's a door on this balcony, no windows, and those 3 cages.
And apart from the one with the Vansel, the other one is empty.
Correct.
Cool.
Is Vansel the one I had? Is Vansel the guy I had a dream about? 2 sessions ago?
Potentially.
Wait, or the Sador the cage.
Okay.
Well, a deal is a deal. Shall we bring Vansel in?
Yes, sir.
Guy, Cheshire, we had a deal.
I'm not about to break a deal.
I want to work with you all. I trust you.
What are
I
you
suppose
good
you
at?
Held up your end of the bargain. I'll flip his switch as they talk.
Oh yeah, it's a good question. What are you good at?
And he, the cage kind of swings back over, and it borders up against the balcony now as well.
I'll start working on that lock while they talk.
Okay.
What would you say is a special skill of yours?
Well,
What do you do?
I like to say I'm a bit of a ladies' man.
That's not a skill, sir. We mean like if someone comes at you with a knife, what do you do?
I'm good at running. I'm good at drinking. I can tell stories. Maybe
You know
maybe a good term
We've
would be,
already got one storyteller here.
Maybe I'm a good-
so-
I'm a good distraction. That's what I'm good at.
I have a critical
think he was
question
light
for
bait.
you. So, hypothetical here. I want to know your answer before we move forward. This is important. A while back, we ran into these really big snakes. Cheshire was able to use his innate physical ability to ram through them. If you're put in that position, would you be willing to use your horns to ram through a giant snake?
You know, I can't
You have the
promise
ability to
that
murder in your body.
I don't think I have the ability to murder, but I will do what I can to assist
Guys,
you all.
he's so weak.
I mean,
so
Maybe
do I look strong? I'm naked, for Christ's sake.
I never said you look strong. I just meant like that mentally you're weak if you're not okay murdering a snake.
I'm not okay with murdering
That snake,
anything.
'cause that snake tried to eat me.
I mean, I can defend myself with
Your life's
along
at
everyone,
risk.
but
You've got to ram the big snake or
Yeah.
he'll eat you.
I mean,
Can't run from everything, man.
obviously I'll defend myself. I don't know how well it's gonna go, but I'll look for an opportunity at least.
you may not be
Just
in a position where you
swing
have
really
to
well.
defend yourself if I can't get this lock. I spent inspiration to re-roll and still got 2 3s. Plus 3.
I can try.
So as you're
All right,
trying
then.
to pop his
So
lock,
6s.
you
Or
don't
6 is my total. Yeah.
you don't feel any of the tumblers move on that.
I think your lock is broken. Ours, this worked fine on ours.
I promise it's the same. I watched him do it.
Why is this not working? It's much more frustrating.
The lockpick itself doesn't appear broken. It looks like it's starting to get some wear and tear on it, but not broken. So you might be able to get a couple more tries out of it.
I could give it a try unless someone would say that their dexterity is more than like a plus 3-ish.
And that's
No, I got +2.
You're more than welcome to try. You're the only one that hasn't tried.
Yeah, let me try. Never done this before, but you know.
May I
beginner's
give
luck.
Sawyer?
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. My beginner's luck ran out. Maybe we need more beginner's
Yeah.
luck.
May I give Sawyer advantage by saying I helped because I hovered over her shoulder and judged very hard?
So Sawyer
You
would
by
consider
stepping
that.
out of the way.
Not her, but like the whole time she's trying to pick it, you like he's just there, just like At this satyr, like, staring him down.
I,
Very much like a serial killer look on his face. Just
I wouldn't say you get advantage on it, but maybe a little bit of a distraction.
Here we go. That's not bad. 14.
So as you got this lock pick and you're trying to pick the lock, you feel a couple of the tumblers move, like you're making some progress, but you can't quite seem to get that last one.
Shoot.
Oh, guidance for Scinn from Grim, by the way.
Yeah. Let me try. I got
Yeah.
tiny hands.
Yeah.
Like, let me
And
just. These
Sawyer
hands have never worked a
exchanges.
day in their life. They're nice and soft and good for picking things open.
Sawyer starts judging now in Scinn's
they
place.
trade places.
Like, tag me out, Scion. I'm ready to judge.
Oh snap! That is a not natural 20 because I rolled an 18 and I got a +2 to
Yeah,
dex.
Yay!
So Cian's down there, fiddling with the lock. At first, he's just kind of like tugging on it, and he's like, all right, he's sticking the lockpick in there. You feel some of the tumblers move, and after a minute or two, you feel that last one pop, and the lock drops down.
And takes the lock off, but like holds the door shut and is like, "Last warning, buddy. You cross us. Remember, I got Chaos Bolt," and he'll push the door open for him.
You gonna believe what Cian's saying too. You don't know what she's gonna do every day. It's just something new and different. And
The last guy that crossed me turned into stone, and now he's just a bunch of pieces littering a field.
it's true. I saw it. I helped to break it apart.
Mm-hmm. She really did most of the breaking apart, but because I told her to.
Yeah. I said I follow what Cian says. So watch out.
It's like this weird little good cop, bad cop thing going on right now.
Absolutely, friends. May I call you friends? We've helped each other out. We're, acquaintances, friends. We're something. I promise.
You may call me Sawyer.
All right, Sawyer.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
My friend Sawyer. I like it. It has a ring to it.
I'm gonna call you Vinny. Come along, Vinny.
I can deal with Vinny. I've never had one of those nicknames before.
It was
So-
this close to being Hubert.
And I hope you'll be understanding. We are keeping the lockpick since we're better with it in
Yeah.
case it comes up again.
It's like Feywild rules, kind of.
Absolutely.
It's ours now.
Now that I'm out of there, I have no use for it. But
Now,
the more important thing is we should get off this balcony. As you can see, that's a long ways down, and I'm quite sure we can get through the house, no issues. But I just want to get out of here.
So, you've been here longer than us. We see those bunny men off in the distance. You mentioned a cook that might occasionally come by. What or who are we expecting inside? And should we be trying to get out quietly? Because I would really find some catharsis in sending these cages and sinking down into whatever is below. But it'd probably make a ruckus.
The only thing that I've been able to see from my cage is I know inside this door is a kitchen. And I know Miss Redcap is in there. I don't know if she's in there currently, and you can see he's trying to listen to the door. But he's like, I don't know if she's in there currently, but I know this is the kitchen. And I bet there's some fine wine in there that we could all partake in on the way out.
Seeing maybe there are windows around the corner of the building, maybe find out what we're in for.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
And he pops Lucinda and off's like, take good care of her.
Okay, go down with the ship.
Protect her with my
Watch her if I
life.
don't come back.
Go flying off as like carefully as he can, like trying not to be seen. Look in in any windows he can find.
So, as you're flying around the cottage here, there appears to be some windows on the first floor, but they all appear to be boarded up. There's no windows on the second floor, and one small window on the third floor.
Pressing my tiny face up to the one on the third floor.
In there, I need to see what room that is. Okay, so as you're looking in there, you kind of have to like wipe off the glass a little bit because it's real dirty. But you see like, what appears to be kind of a small bedroom, broken kind of plates everywhere. You see a chest of drawers. You see a door across from the window, along with a staircase. There appears to be about a 1 foot tall, we'll call it a minion for now, that's in there kind of cleaning up some of the broken plates and almost like doing some chores. It, like I said, it's 1 foot tall, and
Yellow. It has one eye. It's wearing blue overalls.
it has kind of like a frog-like face, but its jaw is like real dropped, and just kind of like hunched over.
Okay. Gonna fly back down to his friends and just gonna be like, I see you in the bottom floor or this floor, but the third floor has a frog that needs a facelift.
Dreamed about something like that not altogether long ago.
You did?
I think it is likely to be a miniature version of the primary occupant of this house.
Well, if it needs a facelift, I could give it a facelift.
I very well bet you would. Oddly, I don't know anything about the people that live here, but I feel far more consternated with the Harangon than this hag, although I believe Talavar had said that Bavlorna Blightstraw is a usurper of some kind.
Yeah.
And, maybe that's more of a situation for the Valor's call, but certainly escaping sounds good to me, unless any of you would dissent.
I didn't want to stay here.
No, but we
should-
should find all our stuff.
That is true. I wonder if the rabbits kept it, or if it's here somewhere.
Mm.
Leastwise, we're not
the
going.
If
Could I have my
working for her, if the rabbits are working for her, then do you think that they're afraid of her? Like they turned all our stuff to her?
Oh,
I don't know
like
they're
she's
afraid.
big boss.
Yeah.
Hold on to the ribbon rope for a while, Sawyer. But I don't think going down directly is the safest option, and I don't think that's quite enough fabric to consider. Scinn can, of course, go wherever he
I can
pleases.
go anywhere we need. I can
But
go wherever
perhaps
we need.
we can find something to defend ourselves with in the kitchen beyond this store. They usually have were we near that gas again? They have knives and things, sharp objects. Maybe we should try that.
You could get like a broom handle and place my staff till I get it back.
That's a thought.
There
Alright.
weren't any windows here, but let me go listen to the door.
He's gonna fly to the door and shove his head against it, so that it ears to the door to try to listen through.
Are you the only one trying to listen?
I trust Cian's senses,
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
unless we just wanted to Scooby-Doo it, and just have 3 heads.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
fine. So it says any character who listens to the doors. Oh, okay. As you're listening to the door, you hear a loud ruckus inside that sounds like someone frustrated and kind of like the squawks of birds.
There's somebody in there.
Vansel says, Redcap's in there. She must be making dinner.
Because I can fly. And if I, you guys hide, and I, bust in and fly back out here, and then she'll just have to chase me around, and you can go in there and get what you need. 'Cause unless she can fly too, I can stay out of her way.
Yeah, I feel like at some point our distraction plan has to work, so maybe this will be the moment.
Why
Because it certainly
Still
hasn't worked
have-
at any point up until now.
Right.
do I still have the doll on me, or did they take that too?
No, everything's gone.
I left Lucinda and took everything.
Everything is girl, apparently.
They thought Lucinda was your real hair.
That's it.
Maybe.
They're like, we're not gonna scalp this child.
She is very natural. In all of her 2-foot glory, yeah.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you guys find a good place to hide. And if she asks why the cages are empty, I'll just tell her that, I ate you guys or something. But, I'll keep her distracted for you guys.
It was
Yeah.
put into a cage.
Oh yeah, use the leftover padlock, lock her in.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Ho ho.
So smart, Cheshire.
Cheshire, you're the idea guy, you're the smart one of the group.
He's gonna fly
I
over and pick
thought
up
you
one of the.
Keep
Padlock.
saying to one another that. Never mind.
We're about it.
So
Find a good hiding place.
Vansel's sitting here listening to the door, and it's and he looks up at you guys okay, so let me get this straight. We're gonna let the little one fly in there, cause chaos, try and trick her out here, and lock her in the cage?
Yeah, and we're gonna sneak
You'll-
in once she runs out.
You'll find that most of our plans end in improvisation anyway, so it matters very little what we set out to do.
But it's like, building block.
It doesn't defeat the purpose of having a plan.
Yeah.
It just generally means that it's not what actually happens.
Got to think on your toes. Or your hooves if you don't have toes.
Oh, I misnamed her. She is a female redcap, which is that a mushroom?
A
Probably.
redcap
I
is
would-
basically a murder-hungry little gnome, fey creature.
Okay.
Oh.
So
Don't they get their name because they soak their cap in the blood of
Mhm.
their enemies? Yeah.
So
It's
Oh,
real
nice.
dark.
Nice.
It's pretty fucking cool, and they have big old shoes.
you learn the name from Vansel, but the name is actually Bloody Toes,
Ooh.
not Redcap. That was the DM's bad.
That's right.
Well,
He's just
everything goes-
objectifying her, calling her by what
Everything
she
goes
is,
according to plan. She'll have some extra bloody toes.
Yeah.
to match the rest of her.
Well,
Anyway.
this
Mhm.
this might just work.
She's gonna need a smaller shoe size at the end of this.
That's
As
right.
if she still has a foot.
I mean,
Yeah.
she has always seemed nice enough. Like she's just doing her job. And
Don't tell me that, buddy. I'm ready to
No,
murder.
she's evil.
I mean, I've been up here quite some time, and she hasn't decided to cook me for dinner yet. So,
Yeah.
But maybe she thought there wasn't enough fat on you, because to be honest, buddy, you could use some muscle.
well, I could also use a good meal, but we can't get that till we're out of here. So,
Sawyer kind of
God, what are you
situates herself
doing?
with her back against the wall next to the door, and then kind of
trying to
squats
keep
down a
awake.
little bit in
I'm
hopes
trying
that the red cap will run out past her and not see her. If that
I
makes
think all
sense.
she
Like,
wanted
right
to
next
do is
the
to be able
door
to see
frame.
you, everybody,
okay. Well,
instead of gremlin.
tell you what.
Love.
On the count of 3, I can't send a child in there by himself.
I'm
Oh,
not a child,
not a
sir. I'm just
child.
child-sized.
I'm
He's an
going
adult. He
in
can make
with
his
you.
own
I take
choices.
offense to that.
I would feel much better if I go in with you as backup. Because 2 against 1 is better.
Yeah, but we're trying to like chase her out and like you're ground bound, you know? Like I feel like she could catch you.
Hey, Sophie's here.
Sophie!
Hey!
Hey, Soph, thanks for joining us. Thank you for the resub and the gifted sub. Thanks very much. Appreciate you coming by. I know you've got a lot you're working on right now.
Are you wanting to say hello again? Little creep.
Ori heard that Sophie was here and had to come say hi.
Well,
Okay, you're done because you're
if that's
slow
the
with
case-
slide.
if you think you can handle it, I'll stay out here. But I don't much like this plan.
If you really
You'll
get
get
nervous,
used to
buddy,
it.
like wait until she's like out here. But like just stay hidden for right now, you know?
Okay. I trust you. You got me out of the cage. I trust you.
Come over with me. We're going to squat against the wall in hopes that she'll just run right out. We can slide right in.
Okay. And he starts to count down. He's like, all right, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to break.
Cliffhanger!
Cliffhanger!
So
Oh man.
we're gonna take a quick a bio break, refresh our beverages, and I want to know what you all think they're gonna find on the other side of this door.
We did our jailbreak, and now it's time to fight the warden.
Yep. Taking on Nurse Ratchet.
So, guys, bear with us just a few minutes. We're going to stretch our legs. I advise you do the same. We got some great story coming up after the break. We got some fan art that's in the reel. And yeah.
Throw some crazy backup plans in the chat during break because we know this is not going to go according to plan.
Oh, absolutely not. Like, there's never a good plan.
Yeah.
So, guys.
I think somewhere in here I can start a poll on Twitch that I've never done. I'll try and do that during the break.
Ooh,
That'd be
place
fun.
some bets. Is it going to go according to plan?
Ooh.
Yeah. Is it actually gonna work this time?
All right, guys. We'll see you back here in just a few minutes.
fact that Cheshire dies again got more votes than everything goes to plan.
Yep. I knew it would. I knew it would.
They have so little faith in us. So little faith.
Well, I mean, me.
Welcome
no,
back.
because Scinn murders the cook is above that.
Hope you all got a nice kick out of that poll that we had throwing up here. And you guys have little faith in Vansel. Apparently, you think he's going to ruin everything.
I really thought Cheshire dies again was going to be the number one answer.
Well, I mean, the night's still young.
Hey, guys, Existential Nerd and Dabs have joined us for the second half of everything.
Welcome.
Good to see you boys.
What's up, nerd?
I posted in the chat, but for those of you joining us post-break, we did a little jailbreak. We got out of our cages,
Mhm.
and the goal
Coming
is to
out of
now
a cage, and we've been doing
do
just fine.
Every week, music reference.
So the goal is we're going to try and trick the cook into coming out, and Scinn's going to lock him in a cage. But we'll see what happens.
Tune in next week.
It's like
And
little
we have
JoJo's
a-
little to be continued
Right.
arrow.
Mark.
Yeah.
So, just to
I
rewind
have
a
new
little
little
bit,
crazy.
you
New
guys,
little crazy out to match the
Look at
energy of our
her.
jailbreak.
There we go.
you guys started
God.
talking
Oh,
about
God.
your
You just
Your
fell
plan.
upside down.
Vansel started counting down from 3, and when he got to 1, that's when we went to break. So,
Yep.
we'll just rewind a little bit. Vansel's like 3, 2, 1, and Scinn bursts through the door.
Yeah, he's been standing there doing like a jogger, like warm up thing, like, all right.
So, as you
He busts in and does basically like the Emperor's New Groove, just boom, baby. He's just there.
All right.
so
Favorite movie of all time. Like Anchorman comes pretty close, but man, I love that movie.
So as
I
you
love
burst
Eve,
in,
I'll put that box in another box.
causing
Yeah,
the
that
distraction and chaos that you did, the immediate thing that you see is this is indeed a kitchen. It is a gore-spattered kitchen. There is a stout figure with a stained apron, is wearing iron boots and a crimson cap, and has a bloody meat cleaver in its hand, and it's chasing around 2 vultures around this butcher block in the kitchen.
Ian burst in and immediately is like, "Oh, I'm not the first thing that's like causing chaos." in here." And
I've
he's
got
just
some
gonna
competition.
yeah, he's
Uh-huh.
gonna be still for a second and think, kind of like, "What do I do?" And then he's just gonna go,
Hit butthead.
And
Ah!
Strong opener.
she
Yeah.
stops and looks at you and close that door.
No, I'm gonna keep it open. You know,
Just
want to close
close.
it, come close it yourself.
If you don't close that door and these birds get out, I'm cooking you instead because Bavlorna's
Oh,
hungry.
I'd like to see you. I'd like to see you try.
Ah, you're too skinny. Will you help me catch these damn birds?
This isn't what I was expecting was gonna happen. Okay. Okay.
As
He
you're
starts,
sitting
like, flying
there,
around after one of the birds.
as you're sitting there pondering, these 2 birds are making their turn around the butcher block, flying directly at you. And they're vultures. They're decent sized birds. So
He lets out like a shrill little scream. It's like, "Ah!" Like really high pitch. And let me see. I have new things that I could do. I just need to see if this works on what I want to do to it. Can I use this on a cantrip? I can use it on a cantrip. Okay. To the 2 vultures, as Scinn lets out the shrill little squeak, a scream, I am going to cast Firebolt I'm going to use one of my 3 sorcery points to make it a twin spell so that 2 fire bolts go at both of them. I
Okay.
was checking to see if I could do that on a cantrip, and it says I can, so I'm going to do it on a cantrip. Which means I need to make 2 spell attacks.
You know the best
That
thing
would-
about mage armor, right?
What?
It can't trip.
No, I don't even have it on right now. I forget. I take mage armor every time I make a caster, and I never cast it. I rolled the exact same number twice, which is a 15.
That definitely hits.
Your distaste
Okay.
sustains me.
I eat
Yes,
spaghetti.
chat.
Make
They
him
eat
feel
chicken
bad for his
trim.
dad jokes, chat.
Okay, so the first vulture takes 8 points of fire damage. Do you guys like that the rat is in my sleeve and I'm going like this and she's just shaking with it?
It's like us swaying in the cage.
It really is, though. That's cocked because it landed on a different dice. It keeps bouncing on my other dices. That is, for that one, 9 points of fire
Ooh.
damage. For second one. Vex, what the crap are you? When did you get here?
Man, the rat's getting to second base on stream. Can we show that?
We gotta cut that. No,
So-
Vex is just like, oh hey guys.
Describe to me
Oh, hi.
what this looks like when you're firing these fire bolts and these birds are cooked, rather.
They both.
Only rats, Sophie.
Listen, I've all heard this before, Sophie. I have the grand plan that if anybody ever comes to me emailing or messaging for feet pics, they're just going to get a photo of this little chicken leg. And that's going to be the feet pic. Okay. Anyway, if they're both cooked, then you guys all hear, you can't see this at all because I told you to hide and he's inside the room. You hear some screaming, followed immediately by like a really high-pitched little scream as he like sends out these 2 bolts purely out of instinct, not even necessarily that he was thinking or trying, but this happened. And now there's just 2 smoldering birds on the ground.
Do we go?
He's standing there like looking at the birds and at the cap woman, back at the birds, back at her. Just,
And Bloody Toes is looking at
that
you.
That could be you next. That could be you.
Bloody
next,
Toes is
you
looking
know.
at you and then looking at the birds and looking back at you like,
We're having like that cat and whichever basketball player it is. I can't remember now who they put in it, but it's the one where they're going like, yeah, it's the one where they're going like, yeah, we're having that moment.
And she's like, oh, well, that was effective. They might be a little tougher to clean now, but you know what? Bavlorna can deal with it. I don't care. Okay? And she comes over and like starts scooping up these birds and putting them up on the butcher block. And she looks at you and like, all right. How did you get out of your cage?
You only ask me that now?
Well, I didn't want to be the next in line for dinner. I wanted to catch these birds. But you know what? It doesn't matter. I don't care. It's not my problem.
Are you letting me go?
You know what? You can do whatever you want. The birds are cooked. For you know what? She starts just plating them for Bavlorna with some other like fruit, some vegetables, and a bread, and takes the 2 birds on plates and leaves the room.
And stands there completely flabbergasted for several minutes after she's left and just.
Hey, she's gone.
Steal some stuff real quick before she comes back.
You got her. Like, you got her? Like,
No, I got some birds, and she was happy about it, and now she's gone.
Sawyer
It was
like
real weird. It was real weird.
shrugs, goes inside to look for a broom handle to use as a staff for the time being.
I'll go inside and look for the largest bladed things that she's got in there.
So
Yeah.
as you all walk in, you are also
Find-
just
Find
you just see
kitchen
this
knives.
bloody mess. There's broken plates on the ground from all of the chaos that was happening in there.
A tall blue fairy standing in the middle, all of it just like, not even-
You smell what appears to be like burning feathers or like bird rather.
We really
Um,
don't know if this blood was here before Scinn came in or if Scinn
No.
caused it.
No,
Sawyer's
no.
impressed.
Some of it looks fresh, some of it looks aged.
This is this is not up to code. The health and safety score is probably very low in this place. All right, spread out, see if you find anything good.
So
Hey, Vanny, where'd you go? Didn't leave us now, did you, Vanny?
no, Vansel comes in and he appears to have found a tablecloth that's stained, a greasy tablecloth that's stained. And he kind of wraps it around himself. And he also finds a nice bottle of wine that he has uncorked and is just kind of drinking from the bottle at this point.
You know, you're putting Satyr culture back several hundred years by running around naked and giving in, like dressed in togas and drinking constantly. We've worked very hard to overcome that stereotype.
As long as I've been dangling in the wind, my friend, I don't care. And he tips the bottle back up.
So what do we find around here?
So, like I had mentioned, whenever you came in, you're kind of looking around. You see some broken plates. You see kind of like a butcher's cleaver. You see some knives. There's a broom off in the corner. The room itself is darker, basically just lit from the fire of where things are being cooked. But there seems to be like a dense fog the further you get away from the kitchen. Sawyer, you immediately get this feeling that, think of it kind of like a spidey sense that it's almost driving you mad that you want, like, something in this house is calling to you. And you only started getting that, like, you briefly got it whenever you came to hither.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like almost painful calling to you now that you've crossed the barrier of the house.
There's something in here. Like
Is it
Like-
blood? Because there seems to be a lot of blood.
more
Like
than the blood.
I guess something we gotta, like,
Maybe, or like,
it's like we're good at the.
I think we need to make sure we see what's in here before we just leave, though. It's just
It's
this,
gonna
like, gut feeling.
It's gonna climb up on the counter and like pull out like 2 knives from the butcher block, and it's just like spinning them around like a little ninja. Just like,
All right, I'm ready, Sawyer. Where you want to go?
So you arm yourself with
The
2
broom
knives.
closet.
Sawyer kind of kicks off the end of the broom and now has a broomstick. And what does Cheshire pick up?
He'll get Sawyer to help him fasten his belts back to him,
Oh, yeah.
and then he's just gonna shove
Left
the remainder.
over right, and then you put it through. You do
See-
the little loops.
I have it in theory, and yet whenever I try, it just doesn't work.
Have you
Fine.
tried the 2 bunny ear method where you just make 2 loops?
Okay,
and
we're
just
not
knot
doing
'em?
any bunny methods anymore.
No, this is a
Not
good
after-
bunny method.
I
This
don't
is-
know that
here,
I
watch.
believe in good bunnies.
What?
And he's gonna take one of your sashes, like the end of it, and it's just gonna be like,
And you just you loop it like that.
and it's like going like through the steps of how to tie the bunny method.
I'd like to do that to Agden's ears, as a matter of fact. I think that would be fun.
Well, we can make,
Should
we
learn
can
how
make
to
that
do it.
happen, friend.
Mm.
Yeah.
Maybe I won't have the trouble when it's not. Anyway.
I just murdered
no,
two
once-
birds. I think we can murder some rabbit now too. Okay.
He's gonna just take every other knife in the butcher's block and shove it into his belts.
Okay, so I would say you're able to pick up 2 smaller knives that you're able to tuck in your belt, and there's a butcher knife, like a cleaver essentially.
Mm.
So if you guys want to look at the map, you can see we're in the room that's right off of the cages.
Mm-hmm.
For our
Mhm.
friends at home, the cages are right
We're in that
here,
bloody room.
and we're in the bloody room.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, not knowing, I mean, we don't know what is outside of here, so we see that there are 4 exits from this room.
Yeah.
Well,
5.
5 maybe?
Or no, is it?
1, 2,
Yeah, it is
3,
5.
4,
It is
5,
5.
and the one that we came through. This is a
Yeah.
hub.
Yeah.
Well, in the interest of fairness, do you guys have any direction that you favor? Otherwise, I'm just gonna roll a d6.
Does
I
this
don't. But Sawyer, do you feel this thing in a certain direction?
yeah, do
Or
I
you
feel
just
it pulling me in a certain direction, or is it just like this is the space that I need to?
As far as you can tell, it's like this is the building that you want to be in.
Okay.
We'll use the hot and cold system.
Sure,
I would
sure.
say you're warm.
Warm. I think
You
we
want to
should
walk about this room and see if you get hotter or colder? Like if
Yeah.
you're on the north side or the south side or the west side?
Yeah, Sawyer's just gonna kind of do a perimeter of the space and feel the force within her.
So you're just kind of like walking around, and for you guys to see the hallway that kind of goes upward, not into the room that has the what looks like pieces of meat on it. The one that has a skinny hallway and goes up as far as the map goes. That way seems to react being the warmest for you.
The hallway that leads into
That north hall.
Yeah, the one that
Okay.
goes
Top
straight
left
up.
of the room.
Okay.
Sawyer points in that direction.
And
Alright.
Good about this way, maybe.
Dan's
as
gonna follow after you with his little knives brandished.
Well,
Not brandished. That's not a word, but you know what I mean.
I hate to do this, but DM Rob has given Sawyer this lovely little curse.
Yeah.
And since Sawyer is saying this way, and I'm assuming there's a closed door, Sawyer's gonna go up because she's got to knock on doors before she goes through them.
It's
She's
the first
gonna-
time that it's going to happen in front of Cheshire, and he's going to look at you very quizzically.
Yeah, she's just gonna go knock knock and turn the knob.
so before you start,
Yeah, we've
going
not seen
right-
you do this before.
No.
The cottage is heavily obscured by thick fog outside of the kitchen area.
I would mean we can't see at all.
Yeah, it's
Heavily obscured, not
yeah.
lightly obscured.
it
yeah.
says heavily
So we're
obscured.
blind.
Can I would fairy fire do anything? Do you guys think? Because as a fairy, I can use
Wait,
fairy
it's-
fire like a druid.
It's
not like a
foggy
druid, like a
in
drow.
the house.
in the house, yeah.
Oh.
The floors are
Wait, I didn't mean fairy fire. I meant. Never mind.
Where it's not bloody, the floors look. They give kind of almost like a rotted, mossy feeling or appearance to them. And as you're walking, the floor is squeaking as you're walking through there.
Cool.
As
So we're not being sneaky at all, even if we want to try.
There was a thing in here. Let me see.
Squeak, squeak,
Oh, great.
knock, knock.
Yeah.
They do creak and groan underfoot. You can try and make stealth checks.
I will fly. Upon hearing the creak, I'll start flying.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think after the first creak of the floor, Sawyer, I almost said Veronica because of the chat right now. Sawyer would try to stealth throughout the rest of the hallway.
Roll me a perception check real quick.
Option check, okay.
Sawyer or anybody?
Sawyer was taking the lead.
I rolled a
Okay.
natural 20.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah!
So as you're kind of walking that direction a little bit, you do hear voices on the other side of that door.
Okay.
It appears to be like two. Since it's a natural 20, I'll tell you, it's two voices. One of them sounds kind of like rugged and croaky. The other sounds kind of mischievous and almost up to no good.
Okay. So here's what Sawyer's gonna do then if she hears that. She takes one step forward, hears the voices, rocks back, puts a hand up, and turns around. There's people in there, there's two of them.
Ian flies into your hand. It flies like face first, just yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we won't go in there, but there's people in there right now, and one of them might be Bavlorna.
Is this after we've knocked on the door and gone through?
No,
or...
no. You haven't knocked yet. I was
don't
giving a
think-
better description beforehand.
I don't think Bavlorna's in there because the cook ran out to go take food to her.
And which door did the cook go out?
When you guys came in, the one I went in.
No.
No?
No,
Oh,
because
I
we
thought-
came
I
in from
thought
the
she went
balcony.
Back out. Which door did? Okay, I misunderstood. Then I thought she went back out to
So-
the balcony.
She went. Since I've messed up a little bit, she went down that hallway.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So this is taking us towards
never mind.
the bad.
Yes.
Maybe good. You don't know.
I would guess.
Guys, if the cook is in there, I'm kind of on her good side. Like maybe I could sweet talk her.
And this hallway is
Like,
heavily
you had-
obscured.
Do
Kind
you
of.
have a plan, Sawyer?
It's not so heavily obscure because you're still part of the kitchen, but you can tell it's foggy.
I mean, if the cook likes you, it would be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 1, maybe?
I don't know if she'd turn on her, but I mean, she likes me because I killed birds.
Does either voice beyond sound like the cook's voice that we would have heard from the other side of that wall?
Um.
Then I didn't hear it. I don't know.
Yeah. I
Did get a nat 20 on that.
That's true.
Does it sound like what I heard from the other side of the door previously?
Which was an open door.
It was an open
Ian
door.
refused to close it.
True.
I'm gonna say you haven't heard this voice before.
Okay.
I'll be generous.
I don't know, it doesn't sound like what I heard before with you talking to Cook.
Well, maybe they'll finish talking and go their separate ways. Most people tire of conversations very quickly.
You know, that's very true. I could try and sneak up to the door and listen.
Sophie would like the mood darkened, please.
Oh,
Ooh.
Sophie.
no! It's okay. I'll take it. It's not craft candy doing it for once.
So, as you all are sitting there coming up with a plan, the door down that hallway kind of kicks open, and you hear some creaking footsteps kind of heading your direction. And Bloody Toes pops around the corner like, for crying out loud, how many... Did you all get out? And the door kind of closes behind her.
Shh. Remember, I helped you. Don't out us.
You did help me, and I have helped you at this point.
I don't remember her helping us. Did she help us?
Listen here.
Well, she didn't. She didn't bother to try to round me up, or
I don't think I think inaction does not qualify as help.
Yeah, I go side with him on this one.
I'm an impartial judge, so if my friends say that you didn't actually help, then you didn't actually.
I mean,
help.
it's not too late.
Mhm.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll let you in on
It's
a
never
little...
too late for a redemption arc.
I'll let you in on a little secret. That crotchety old woman in that next room has forbidden me from murdering any of our guests. So you are all safe from me. But I'm not going to help you. I'm just here to do my job. I don't want to be here.
Why are we guests? Oh God, does she want to do more than just eat us, guys? Did she want to sacrifice us to her young?
Are you here to get rid of her?
What
Are
we're
you friends?
primarily
Oh,
here to do is to leave.
Yeah, we'd like to leave.
So you're not
I mean, if
dinner.
we say we're not dinner.
Yeah, I've never considered myself dinner before, so...
No, I don't identify
I mean-
as dinner.
Okay,
No.
that's fair. Well, I'll tell you what.
You know what happened to our things?
Yeah, they put them in a box around here somewhere.
Box.
I'm
On
not...
this floor? On the top floor? On the bottom
Honestly, you guys didn't have anything on you by the time you got here, but
floor? Those
jerks.
rabbits.
they are. Bavlorna said she wanted to keep it, add it to her hoard of stuff. Lord knows what she does with it.
Does she have like a hoard room?
Yeah, I think it's upstairs. Of course, she doesn't want anybody up there, but she's in the other room having tea and dinner with Charm. She's here all the time, but I would advise not interrupting. But I mean, if you're gonna talk to her, I guess now's as good a time as any.
Who's Charm?
You know, I actually don't know. Kind of a spooky looking bitch.
Oh.
So
Spooky,
hypothetically,
spooky on level of tall Slendy Man, or tiny girl in pig mask.
She's tall, white-faced, dressed in a lot of black.
Okay,
Kind of
guys, we're
nightmare
good. It's
fuel
not the
for
girl.
even
It's
people
not the
like
little
me.
girl in the pig.
Oh,
It's
come
not the
on.
little
I
girl in
knew
the pig mask.
I knew lots of tall, white-faced, black-dressed women when I was in high school, and I've known several since. They're not that intense.
I just misheard you. I thought you said that you had known many tall black-faced women, and I was like, Rob.
no, he just knows a lot of goths.
I mean, you're more than welcome to, join their conversation. I don't have any more food to cook for you, but
The last time I tried to be civil with anyone here, it did not end well. Frankly, this is the longest I've spoken to anything in this place without it trying to kill me. Well, except Jingle Jangle. That went well, I think. But I did have to wind up killing somebody because of that. So, perhaps, how do we get upstairs? And we'll be out of your, what I assume is probably hair underneath that hat.
The only staircase that I know goes up, you're gonna love this, is in the room that they're in.
God dang it.
Say there was a... Could you just... I'm sure it wouldn't be the first time you've broken a window.
I didn't see. Well, there was a window on the 3rd floor.
That sounds like where we want to be going.
Hey.
I mean, I could go outside and go try to do that, but I don't know how you guys get to come with me. Are there stairs that go upstairs, but like outside?
No.
Darn. I had a brain cell moment, and then it went away.
What if, I think I caught the brain cell when it went away from you. What if we make a commotion downstairs that draws it down there, and then we go up?
That's a good thought.
I
We are
honestly
good
think
at
you
distraction.
guys are really overthinking this. You think that rocky, disgusting old lady is gonna chase you? She's not moving off her couch.
Yeah, but like we also didn't think that we were gonna nearly die to a bunch of bunnies, but then we got real just kind of kicked in the throat.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, be that as it is, tell you what, if you're this concerned about it, I've been in servitude here for quite some time. I can let you in on a little secret. But please, don't let her know that I told you this, because it'll only make my life hell. Bavlorna has a little weakness. Do you guys have allergies?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, Bavlorna has allergies in a sense.
She had tonsillitis. I hear you can fix that with some surgery.
No, but she's allergic to seeing anyone run widdershins.
What's widdershins?
It's when, and she takes her finger and she kind of moves in a counterclockwise circle. She's like,
Oh.
it's when people run in tight circles counterclockwise. She doesn't have any
really
medication
good at
for
running,
this.
you guys.
She just
Yeah.
starts sneezing uncontrollably. It's rather disgusting. But
Sawyer, what if you and I just went in a circle? Like I can fly and you can run, and we'll make 2 circles, and
you know
like
who
maybe we'll
else
just
said who was good at running? And I go like this
yeah.
back towards
Vinny,
Vinny.
get your butt in here.
and Vinny at this
Got a
point
purpose
is
now.
looking a little intoxicated. He's like, oh, "What did you want me to
All
do?"
the better, my man. Get in there and run in some circles.
Counterclockwise.
Or just try and
Yeah.
run in a straight line and see what happens. And in your
Yeah.
state. So,
You
Make sure it's a tight. Yeah.
you think you want me to run circles? And
Yeah.
he starts to run a circle kind of around this butcher block, very wide and very clockwise, banging into everything as he goes.
you know what? That seems like a distraction.
It's
In all
enough
fairness.
distraction. It's enough of the
Yeah, you stay here and do that. Don't stop.
Yeah, go into that room and start doing it. And we'll follow after you. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
We need you to you said you were good at running and distraction and
Your time has come.
This is both your
Yeah.
strong suits.
yeah.
Okay.
There's some ladies. Listen, my man, you said you were good with the ladies. There's some ladies in there.
Mm.
Who need
Oh.
entertainment. In
One
the
of them
form
is
of somebody running in circles.
They're really into tight circles, just like people running them.
Yeah.
If you have always wanted a big titty goth GF, I hear there is one in the next room.
Oh,
Oh.
you can see
I'm
him
a little
kind of
scary,
start
but-
adjusting his tablecloth, and he's like, watch, I am good for something. And he starts walking down this hallway. Floors
Go
are
get him, Tiger.
creaking like really loud. And he kind of like,
I like to think he makes it like 2 steps and like leans against the wall and just goes, and then just keeps going.
he's kind of he bumped into the wall as he walked, and he kind of vanishes into the fog, and you hear the door open, and he goes, "Well, hello, ladies," and the door closes.
God.
You know, I know we can't hold our alcohol, but Vinny cannot hold his alcohol.
Yeah, it's barely
Yeah,
been
you
any
really
time at
can't.
all.
We should follow him quickly, but before
Yeah,
they
let's go,
disintegrate
let's
him or something.
go. Yep. Bye, Vinny. It was nice knowing you.
Hey, thanks, Stabs. I aim to please. Hey, guidance for Scinn, DM's accomplice from the nerd.
Yay! Thank you.
Yeah, so we'll head up. Cheshire will go in front and he'll open the door.
Walking quietly, sneaking. What are you doing?
And he's providing a distraction. I'm just kind of hoping that Sawyer and Scinn can do what they want. Chester's just kind of like, we probably have a small opportunity to do something while he's doing this.
Yeah.
We should probably use it.
I'm gonna fly, which means I'm not creaking at least, and
Yep.
that's already stealthing in some manner, but
Yeah, so Sawyer's gonna go in anticipating needing to run in tight counterclockwise circles just in case Vinny's messing this up. But if he's doing it well, maybe she can hit him with her broomstick.
Oh.
Thanks,
Ian's
Dabs, for the guidance.
Ian's got the 2 little knives out, holding them like at the ready.
So the floors are creaking.
They're not actually little
as
knives
you-
with him. They're like as big as his forearm. Like,
As you make your way down the hallway, the floorboards are creaking, and like.
oh, we
you're-
got another dark in the mood.
Ah!
I might save that one for a minute. And you go into this fog, and it's like you basically can't see much more than just like each other. Like you can't see much more than that. But you open the door and you walk in, and there's a small, like a candle on a table essentially, and you see Vansel and 2 other creatures in the room. Vansel is talking to him what he assumes is being very like flirty, winning the ladies. And he's like,
Oh, no.
"Oh yes, and here's my my friends. This is Sawyer, Scinn, and Chester." No,
Vinny,
no.
you stupid! We told you to
Wasn't
run in
just-
circles.
You told me there was beautiful women in here.
God, we
they-
told you they
They're
wanted to
into
be
tight
wooed with
circles that you
circles.
run in.
Ah!
He tips his
Oh
bottle
god,
back.
you gotta do everything myself, and he starts
Yeah,
flying.
Sawyer
in
starts
little,
going.
Yeah, in little circles.
And Chester is just looking for some stairs.
Well, as you've entered this room, let me read the description. So they're having this conversation. One figure is seated in a time-worn chair. A tall, lean woman of gray complexion, dressed in black with a wide-brimmed hat obscuring her eyes. The other figure is a toad-like creature with bulging eyes and cracked skin. It is clad in a shapeless garment and sits on one end of the love seat with its legs up beneath it. Flies are flying in and out of its mouth, which is hanging widely agape when it's not speaking. And there are 2 tiny versions of it clinging to it like pets. The room is filthy. Dirty dishes and bits of discarded food lie everywhere. The furniture was at one point very fine quality, but now there are stains of mysterious origin on every surface. And the upholstery has been patched numerous times very poorly. Set with its back to the wall in one corner is a very large wooden cabinet, sturdy legs at the bottom of it, and the cabinet is about 6 inches above the floor. There is a decrepit wooden staircase that climbs up the wall in another corner. And
Do I feel that spidey sense stronger in this room?
You do. And there's our creepy goth girlfriend Charm.
Ooh.
Oh man,
Okay.
she's real spooky.
No,
So now that
she
I've
looks so cool.
now that I've given you a description, and Vansel has introduced you to these two lovely women, what would you all like to do?
Oh, we running.
Running.
Yeah, one's flying, one's running in little circles.
So as you do this, the
And-
toad-like lady, with her jaw wide, just starts sneezing uncontrollably, and Charm just kind of like holds her hand up to her mouth and starts giggling, like, "Oh, Bavlorna, you silly fool."
And Cian's gonna kind of be to Sawyer, be like, just keep running.
Yeah,
Running.
yeah.
I got a plan.
Right.
I'm just reading what the spell does. Oh, that
Sawyer's
doesn't do what I
like
wanted it to.
Naruto
Well, it kind of works.
running in the little circles.
He's gonna put friends on himself, which just gives advantage to charisma checks directed at a single creature, and that creature, because she's not hostile yet, is gonna be Goth Girl.
Oh, that's
and
gonna
he's just
change
gonna-
in 60 seconds. Fuck.
He's just gonna be kind of still hovering in a tiny circle and just be like,
How you guys doing tonight? Everybody doing good? Doing good? Had good dinner?
Um,
and like he like kind of does like a little like cough thing to kind of cover up, even though only Cheshire can hear. This is not a concentration cantrip, thankfully, following the one I just did that is. So like he kind of does like a little cough, and since Cheshire messaged being like, get the stuff, we're distracting them, get the stuff.
What stuff? I look around for stuff, I guess.
and she's
Oh,
achoo,
stuff upstairs.
achoo, stop, achoo, stop, please.
I go
stop,
from running
achoo.
like this to just throwing my arms back and Naruto running in the circle as fast as I can.
All right, Roxy.
So she just continually keeps sneezing, and this woman in the black is just getting a kick out of this. Doesn't look concerned or anything, like there's not going to be any harm, but has like this menacing grin on her face.
Cheshire has no idea what he's supposed to be getting. Are there any?
Our stuff was upstairs, I think, right?
Yeah. Her
Okay,
hoard
but-
is
and then-
upstairs.
Sawyer's got something in this room
Thing.
that she wants, but
Yeah, does
Um,
it feel like it's in this room or am I just getting warmer?
You're getting warmer.
Okay.
okay.
So Maddie is guessing as the player that it's up in that hoard room.
You know, if she's not interested, I mean, if she tries to chase us, we can always just do this again. But maybe I'm going to go upstairs. I'll
Go
be
upstairs.
back.
Go
Yeah.
upstairs.
He'll gallop
Sawyer, if you
and
gotta
trot
go up,
upstairs.
if you gotta go up too, I can keep these little wings going.
Okay, so you
Sawyer's-
guys are gonna come back down to like a comedy skit, like a Three Stooges comedy skit of just Cien and Vinny.
Sawyer's gonna wait to see Cheshire go up, and once like the door is open to the upstairs, from her little Naruto running circle, she's just gonna pull out of it and run up the stairs if she can.
Okay. As you're running up, of course, the floor is just creaking and making awful noises this entire time. But as you start to run up the stairs, you get about halfway up, and they're squeaking and crunching all the way up. One of the boards actually snaps as you step up off of it.
Oh,
Oh no.
Kind of catching your attention, like, oh, this is pretty brittle wood.
I slow down.
You weren't
I don't
able to
run
see,
the rest
you weren't
of the
able
way.
to see that the door had opened because of the dense fog. You're just kind of wandering into the like, you know, he went that way, but he kind of vanishes into the fog until you kind of
Have
get.
I heard any door opening noises?
I would say you heard a door
And
open.
Okay.
Okay, I was going to say, there might not be a door at the top of the stairs. I don't know.
Oh. Well, I make my way up a little slower.
Okay.
I guess I should check the map.
So you two are up on the 3rd floor now,
Here's the map, friend.
and
I'm hoping it'll focus.
as you arrive up there, you immediately it's a very dark room. Again, there's fog. There is a you know, it'd be cool if there was a thing that I could click on that tells me what's in this room. There is a ball of light bulbs above the rafters, casting shadows over the room, in which the owner's messy habits are on full display. Rumpled and moldering rugs share floor space with food scraps, dirty stacks of dishes, and tipped over clay pots that have long since dried up. Or of clay pots whose plants have long since died. There's a bed that occupies one corner of the room, and a pile of straw and a plate in place of a mattress. In the opposite corner stands a short chest of drawers with a watering can resting atop it. The only other furnishing in the room is a stocky wooden chest with a sturdy iron padlock. It sits in another corner between 2 closed doors. And you see a couple more of these small minions kind of doing chores around in the room.
Do they react when we come up, or are they just going through the motions of their chores?
They're just kind of going through the motions of their chores.
Okay.
They have their headphones in, and they're just kind of like bopping along.
What did you say was between 2 closed doors?
A short chest with a beefy-looking iron lock.
Well, I've still got the lockpick, so I'll head for that.
Has my hot or cold sense gotten warmer?
It is getting very, very warm.
We're going the right direction, Cheshire.
So looking at that map, you can see that white door you see there
Yeah.
is the door that you see the chest in.
Okay. Well, I'm making my way to the chest.
I'll kind of follow Cheshire almost like back up. So I'm going to keep eyes on the room while he's dealing with this. I'm going to have my broom handle out, my broomstick, just in case I need to, bodyguard, protect while
Okay.
Cheshire's doing his thing.
Can I have you both roll me a perception check?
The 9 for Cheshire.
17.
Okay. So Cheshire doesn't notice anything. Sawyer gets kind of like the hair on the back of her neck kind of standing up, and out of the corner of your eye you kind of see what appears to be almost a shadow kind of like dash across the floor and like up onto the wall. Like, you're not sure if it was something, because when you look over there, you don't see anything. But you could have swore you saw something move.
I don't want to distract you from your work. Keep doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something moving around in here.
Mm.
But I'm ready. Don't worry. I'm got you back.
Okay. Maybe just work quickly then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to let me double check a feature I have real quick. Okay. Just kidding. I'm going to just sort of position myself with my broomstick and hold just an attack in case anything comes at us. And
Okay.
I'm just going to stand there and hold on to it and wait.
So I misunderstood on that map. There is another door in there, and the chest is in that bottom right corner of that room.
Oh, I see. Okay, so there's the door out to the balcony, the door further in,
Yep.
and the chest is there. Okay.
All right. And is anything moving in this room with us as we go to the chest?
That's the room that you that Sawyer could have swore she saw something move.
Is the room that we're in?
Yes, the one that has the bed in it and the window.
Okay.
Yeah, Sawyer's just going to keep that position with a held action to attack if anything comes at us.
And I'll try my luck with the lock. My lock.
Okay.
Same as before, just dex.
Let's see.
Well, now that I have thieves' tools, I guess it's thieves' tools check, but still.
Well, you haven't gotten your stuff back yet.
Well, I got thieves' tools, but I don't. If
Yeah.
I don't have thieves'
Yeah,
tools,
the lock
I've just been
pick
handed a
is
lockpick.
in. Yeah.
Okay, so as you get over to this treasure chest, you see that it's padlocked, and it has clawed iron feet and the initials BB that are crudely carved into the lid. So, yeah, go ahead and roll me a dex check if you're trying to pick it.
And that is a 16.
Okay. So you're picking the lock, and again, you feel the tumblers go through it, and it pops loose. And
I knew it had it in me. That I told you Vandrin's lock was broken.
Yeah, it definitely was. And you probably fixed it before you unlocked it.
That I loosened it up for you.
Yeah, when seeing got it.
Anyway.
as you open this chest, the first thing that you pull out is a 12-inch tall marionette that has faces.
I feel that, Maddie.
Has faces on both opposite sides of its head. One face is a moon, the other is a sun. The next thing that you pull out of there, you notice, is a unpunched ticket from the Witchlight Carnival. The ticket is signed by Isolde. And there are 3 spell scrolls of Identify that are tied together with a lute string.
Can you tell me what the name was on the unpunched ticket one more time?
Isolde.
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 It's Isolde.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
You don't need to help me put on chapstick. No.
Assuming that we haven't heard anything that has changed the situation downstairs, and assuming that Sawyer still feels that there is something to be had here, we'll probably make our way to the other
Downstairs.
door.
From downstairs, you just loudly hear, just like,
Hey, how about just I? I'll sing you guys a song. I need a name. 3 syllables.
Like that's all that you hear from downstairs.
Also, with that, the sound of sneezing has slowed down significantly.
Little wings are still flapping in a circle. He's just getting tired.
Monica. Monica's a name. I heard that in a song once.
Immediately followed loudly
Well,
by
it was a
Vinny,
little
get your
bit.
butt in gear.
It's a little bit of
Trying to
Monica,
make
anyway.
him run.
Okay.
Vinny, you dead weight, do something.
You want to try that other door, or okay? Do you want to go with the lock picks, or maybe it's not locked? Maybe it's not locked. Let's try the door.
Yeah, Sawyer's just gonna. She's gonna take a beat and sort of make sure nothing moves in the room, and then she'll sort of like relax her stance and head over to the door.
Okay. Yeah,
And
you
she'll
don't
go
you don't notice
knock and try to open it.
You don't notice any kind of movement. You go over, you knock on the door, you don't hear any noises, but the door is locked.
Okay. You're really good at it at this point. I think you can do it one more time.
Okay. Let's give it the old university try. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah.
all coming together.
It's all coming together.
It's all coming
It's
together.
17 plus 3 is an unnatural 20.
Ooh.
Ooh. Dirty 20.
Okay. So as you use the lockpick, you can feel the lock give, but as it gives, the pick itself bends and breaks, but the door is unlocked now.
Well, that was fun while it lasted.
We gotta get you a set of those tools. It's really good.
Yeah.
As you walk in, the room looks very musty and looks like a miser's attic. Lying in tall heaps are discarded blankets, quilts, cushions, and clothing of all shapes and sizes, not to mention musical instruments, toys, dolls, jewelry boxes, flower vases, child-sized caskets, and broken furniture. Among the heaps
We
of...
made the same face at the same time.
Like, oh yeah, things you'd find in a big like hoard room.
No, cool.
Child-sized
Child coffin.
caskets.
Among
We both
the
went,
heaps of junk are a few oddities, including a stag skull that is hanging on the wall, a white porcelain jar with chicken legs standing on the table, a fancy helmet placed on the faceless head of a wooden mannequin, a 5-foot-long bronze statue of a giant frog squatting in the corner with its mouth wide open and filled with impenetrable darkness. A weak croaking sound calls your attention to a tiny shriveled figure lying on the floor. It lets out one final gasp before dying.
oh. Is there anything that looks like a shepherd's crook that has some damage to it because it's been used as a staff instead?
As you're looking in there, you do see a box that appears to have some new stuff added to it, and it does appear to be all of your belongings.
Sawyer's gonna go over there first and, put her stuff back on her, pass Cheshire's stuff to him, and keep the box full of Cian's stuff under her arm. But does the spidey sense get stronger in here?
It is almost painful.
Okay. Sawyer is actually going to pass the box to Cheshire and she's going to just close her eyes and feel around the space until she finds where it's the strongest.
As you're feeling around, your eyes kind of come open as you come to the body of this little Lornling, we'll call it. And on the other side of it is the giant bronze frog statue. And actually, roll me another perception check.
Okay.
You you both can.
I don't think
Just
I've
to be
succeeded a
safe.
perception check all campaign.
Just to be safe, I'm going to use my
Dave the
guidance that I
Dave.
have too. 22.
Okay.
It's a strong 13. I hear that's a lucky number.
Ooh.
Okay. So Cheshire gets the hair standing up on the back of his neck, similar to what Sawyer had. And it's one of those, like, in the fog, you could have swore you saw something move, but you don't know what. And as you're kind of looking over there, you don't see anything. Sawyer, on the other hand, sees a very distinct shadow on the wall. Tall, slender, but there's no other person in the room. But the shadow is definitely kind of moving around, but there's nobody else in the room with you.
He's just gonna, knowing that we've dealt with enemies that can make themselves go invisible before, she's gonna do what she did when Agdon went invisible. She's just gonna pull her staff out and swing in the direction of the shadow.
Does it, when I have a shadow, I cast a shadow, and there's a point of origin at my feet,
Mhm.
right? Is there a point of origin for this shadow? Or is it like Peter Pan's shadow moving along the
Yeah.
wall?
It's out of game. It's like Peter Pan's shadow.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, she's gonna swing at the shadow, just to see
Like-
if it's hittable.
So, like hitting the wall, or just like in front of the shadow? Rob is wondering.
She'll if the shadow is like flat against the wall, she'll hit the wall.
Go ahead and roll me an attack with disadvantage.
Disadvantage. So first I rolled a 17, then I rolled a 3, which comes out to an 8
Oh,
with my
No.
+5 to hit.
Okay. So as you swing your shepherd's crook, it smacks off the wall, and the
Okay.
shadow kind of like it dips down and almost like shoots kind of like across the floor, and you lose track of it in the fog.
Okay, but it looks like it flees,
To your knowledge,
like it's getting
yes.
away from me.
Yep.
Okay. We gotta keep an eye on that thing. I don't trust it one bit.
I forgot what that thing is doing. So go ahead.
And I'm still just pulling stuff out of this box. So you call out behind me, "See, we found the stuff. Do you want to come get it? Are you okay?"
Downstairs, you don't get a reply of like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming." Instead, you just hear like he's still flapping his little wings. You can't hear that. Like he's still trying to go in circles, but you hear like very breathy singing because he's tired because he's been going in circles. His little wings. He's just,
Oh, Bavlorna. Well, you came and you gave without taking.
He's just so talented.
The singing lessons from Palasha are really paying off.
Yeah.
Scinn, while you're down there, since you've spent the most time, roll me.
No.
You roll me a perception.
do something good. Bless that, please. No? Oh god, it's gonna be terrible now.
Oh, Vex now.
That was a 6. I'm gonna add my guidance because that's gonna do a whole lot. I added a total of 2, so that's an 8.
Okay. So as you've been flying around, thinking that you're doing widdershins for Bavlorna, her sneezing is kind of stopped. Vassal is again, making conversation with the lady in the dark, and you notice that the lady in the dark also, she's not casting a shadow.
Yeah, I don't.
And
The song seems to have kind of lost its charm. Vinny, just keep doing your thing, my man. I just gotta. I think I'll go bathroom. Bye.
He's gonna fly up the stairs.
So as you're flying away, the last thing that you hear Vinny and Charm gossiping about Bavlorna's sisters, Endolin and Scabatha. Talking about how, Endolin did this, Scabatha did that, blah, 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 blah. Bavlorna chimes in and I can't stand my sisters, but we made this pact and we have to stick to it. Blah, and at that point you're upstairs and you can't hear anymore.
Dan's gonna very abruptly stop, little wings kind of still fluttering, but he does a skid to a stop kind of thing. He stands there for a minute. He's gonna send a message to Cheshire and just be like,
my things, they're gossiping. I have to hear the juicy. Just get my things.
And he's gonna go back about halfway down the stairs and just kind of turn his little tiny ear.
So as you got upstairs, roll me another perception check.
You better do your job here this time, Missy. Thank you.
She knew what she was doing that time, blessing that die.
That was a natural 20.
Okay. So
Very
Next
nice.
was like, here you go.
Immediately as you come up to the top of the stairs, you're there, you're listening, trying to hear what they're talking about, but you also see this tall, slender-like shadow basically standing over Cheshire and kind of reaching into his bag without him noticing.
Firebolt.
Sucks to be it. I don't have a bag right now.
Well, how are you carrying that treasure that you got out of the chest?
She handed me a box. I haven't started
I
taking
have-
shit out yet.
It's the box that all of our specials.
Oh,
in.
She can
I
reach
took
into my
stuff
chest.
out.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I thought you had a bag, so.
Nah, I thought everything was taken, so.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So it's kind of it appears to be looking for something specific in this box. But it's very obviously a looming shadow over Cheshire.
Cheshire?
Mm?
Don't panic.
I'm bad at that.
I'm gonna cast Firebolt, not at Cheshire though, but because it's so big and looming, kind of aiming at what would be the head.
Okay.
Oh, the 16? The hit?
A 16 does hit.
Okay.
If
it does, in fact, if it does in fact take any damage, then it takes. What are you? I need to ink you. 6 points of damage.
Okay. So you fire this firebolt, and it hits the shadow, but also goes through it, and you see the shadow just kind of dart into the darkness, and you lose track of it. And a loud crash from the firebolt hitting the wall that was on the other side, and you hear Bavlorna downstairs. What was that? in her low croaky voice.
I gotta go back. I gotta go back and distract her. Oh, Bavlorna!
He goes flying back down the stairs.
A couple of the Lornlings that were in that room, they go in and they immediately start putting the fire out and making it dark again.
Maybe she doesn't like.
Well, let's
Fire
quickly grab our backpacks out of stuff and give Cian his backpack before he runs off.
Any little like child school bag flies away.
Do you mind if I, since you're normally a person, can I have that little knife Sir Talavar left with you?
Yeah, if the bunnies didn't take it, it should be in here, please.
Did the bunnies take it?
Nope, it's there.
He's gonna pull it out and like it looks like a normal sword to him. He hands it to you and it immediately becomes like a baby dagger.
It's like, treat it well. Treat it well.
That's better than nothing. Much better than nothing. Much better than a kitchen implement. Um,
Can I have the butcher knife though? I think I might need to like throw it at the big.
sure, that's fine. Trades.
Oh yeah.
That's not a
When you
knife.
have
A knife.
No.
Sawyer, you seemed interested in the frog thing.
Yeah.
Wanna?
Just something feels weird about it. And I'm gonna go back over to this frog in the corner. Is it made out of? What is it made out of? Is it metal?
It's bronze, solid
Bronze. That's right.
Yep.
And you said in the mouth, it's just darkness.
Just solid darkness. No light is able to penetrate it.
Maddie, as a player, is concerned because she thinks she might know what this is, but Sawyer doesn't. Maddie is terrified, but Sawyer is curious. So she's gonna go over, and she's gonna take her staff out, and first she's gonna poke the top of the frog and see if anything happens.
As you poke it, it's almost like you're able to feel the roof of the mouth of the frog, but as your staff goes in, you can't see the end of it. It almost like it disappears.
When I pull it back out, is the staff
It's
still in one
It's
piece?
fully intact.
Oh, as a player, I hate this, but Sawyer's gonna reach in. Oh God.
As a player, I watched the old episodes of Acquisitions Incorporated, and I'm very entertained.
So as you reach in,
Because that's where it's coming from, right? The sensation and the feeling that I have.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
so
I'm very nervous.
I'm picking up good vibration.
As you reach in, your limb completely disappears into the darkness. And it feels as though your fingers are pushing through a cool, wet mud with eels swimming through it.
Ew.
That's some Hadar right there.
Do I still
Some
feel
Cthulhu
like
right there.
this is where I need to be right now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna grab around inside just aimlessly and see if there's anything I can grab.
Okay. As you are feeling around, you're trying not to get too disgusted by the
Yeah.
the
Yeah, she's like, ew, gross, oh god, oh, I'm fine, Cheshire, don't worry, ew, ew.
You're feeling around and you finally feel a what appears to be a pole of sorts, and you kind of make your way up one end of it and down the other, and it just seems like it's a very, very long pole.
I'm gonna try and angle it so it'll come out of the frog mouth and pull it out.
Okay. And as you're pulling, it's giving some resistance, so you kind of have to
I
put
stick
your hand
my other arm in and I. Ugh.
and you're pulling with all of your monk might, and the start of this pole starts coming out of the frog's mouth, and you keep pulling and you keep pulling, and eventually it completely pops out, and you're now on the floor holding this pole of what is definitely making your spidey sense go off.
She's like on the ground with this pole, and she's just like, "What are you?"
And we're talking about this pole being probably 10 feet long.
What's your deal?
There's a
What
lot of-
are you?
Pole in that little frog. It's bigger on the inside.
Go ahead.
I'll get up and I'll like push myself up with it. Stand next to it.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation on it.
Okay. This is a flat roll because Sawyer has a +0 to intelligence. Huh, 16.
On this pole, as you're looking at, just like really confused about what it is, you notice almost like a button or a switch on it. Not sure what it does, but you do notice it. As you push it, the pole it collapses essentially down to about a 4 foot, like a walking stick essentially.
Okay, cool.
Solid metal, very sturdy, could be used as a weapon, but more importantly, you all of a sudden feel taller.
Like
Like
3 inches
like
taller.
3 inches taller.
Like back when Sawyer was younger and her dad was like, I'd heard of a growth spurt, but I've never heard of a shrink spurt. But don't worry, I'm sure it's fine.
Yep.
Like after she
Looks down at hulky toddler. It's okay. Like,
yeah. Sawyer like holds this rod for a second. And Cheshire just sees her like go back in her memory. And it was this really weird thing where the year after she snuck into the Witchlight Carnival to join her brother, who they were able to afford a ticket for. The next day she had woken up 3 inches shorter and confused and upset, because this was right when she had first started fighting in the fighting pits, and she had to be moved down a height rank for fighting, and she couldn't make as much money for her family anymore, and she's just staring there looking at this rod, and she kind of tucks that in with her shepherd's crook, and there's this like wave of like, I get it now, there's more here than just us helping the Kenku that we met at the carnival. And she turns back to Cheshire with this like confidence in her height, because now she's like 6'1", and then also just like this feeling of like, I'm ready to kick some ass. This is the person who took my height.
Make sure I'm standing flat on the ground. Look under Sawyer's feet, see what she's standing on.
She just got her little boots. Pretty boots. Long story. I'll explain it. I feel like this is not the best place to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a feeling we might be able to find more. If not here, somewhere else, for sure.
More what?
Did you used to be taller, and then when you were like, I don't know, like an older teenager, you got shorter?
I don't think so. I don't think that's the way growing works.
I didn't think so either. And it's because I lost it. I didn't have a shrink spurt. That's what my dad called it. I was all freaked out. But it's actually just like, it's here, it's back now.
Can I see
It's
that
a tingle.
stick?
I trust you.
I take it and I click the button.
It fully expands to the 10 feet.
Do I lose my 3 inches again?
No.
Oh, okay.
Do I gain 3 inches?
No.
I click it 3 more times.
Tall, short,
So
tall, short.
tall, short. It keeps collapsing and expanding itself.
Okay, so it wasn't that. And I hand it to you.
This is good to know that I can do that in like fight, and I could like point it and go, and it'll hit someone.
Oh, that's good.
It's specifically called a
Yeah.
pole of collapsing.
Ooh. Tuck
Maybe-
it back there, and I'm gonna make a note of that.
So you have what you came for. We have our things back.
Did Cheshire want to spend any time exploring the room?
You should play the Heart of Cold game. Like, I came through here, my brain was like, this feels good, that's not the spot. Try it, close your eyes, just feel.
Okay, I mean, I haven't been feeling that, but there's much like that beautiful instrument over there, what that vase with the feet is doing. But should we? I'm worried about seeing it.
Downstairs, you hear another song starting up that's just like,
Oh, Bavla, you're so fine, you blow my mind, Habona!
Yeah, I think he needs our help.
Maybe, we can always come back.
Yeah.
Also, all these little things kind of freak me out.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of them. I'm glad they're not like attacking though. I thought they were going to be like little ankle biters or something.
Something. Anyway, we have what we came for. Maybe now we can leave.
Yeah.
So let's go check on Sia.
So you guys start walking. The floor's creaking as you walk. Of course, being very careful because you can't see much with it being as dark and foggy as it is. And you get down there, and you again see Bavlorna sitting on the couch. She's not sneezing as much anymore. She doesn't appear hostile.
Sawyer tries running around in a counterclockwise tight circle just to see if her sneezes start again.
You see Scinn kind of entertaining. What was our?
he's like taken like a random like handkerchief or something like that he's found, and he's like pretending that it's like the ribbon dance thing. And he's just like, like
You see Vansel like really putting on the moves with charm, and as Sawyer starts to run Widdershins, Bavlorna starts sneezing and she's like, "Will you please stop it?"
Yeah, I do like one more quick tight little loop and then I like skid to a halt. Just wanted to see. It's an interesting allergy.
What act of desperation compels you to enter my home, little darlings?
We didn't try to come here. I mean, in all
Yeah.
fairness.
Ended up here.
We'd like to leave.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, but there's there's a score to settle with some
Some bunnies.
bipedal rabbits. Yes.
The jerk in a blue scarf that needs to be taught a lesson.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, Agdon. Unfortunately, I can't let you mess with Agdon. He brings me lots of trinkets and treasures and things that I personally really enjoy. But I mean, you're welcome to leave, or I mean, if you want to stay here and help out with some things, I'm sure we can find something for some chores for you all to do. And I mean, in payment for your chores, I'll see if there's anything that I can help you out in return.
Ma'am, now hear me out. If you like trinkets, you could just cut out the middleman of like little scarf guy. Like there's this thing called a garage sale. And it's just full of trinkets that like no one wants.
unfortunately, I don't like leaving my house much. It's not for me.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely, darling.
You said you like trinkets and stuff.
I do.
Just like little things, right? Like doilies and paperweights. And...
I like all things. I really have a hobby that I enjoy of taxidermy. Just kind of like the most obscure things. I enjoy reading, and I love taking baths in my pool, but that hasn't been
You
working
also
for
like
quite some
taking
time.
things from people, like parts of them.
Pool? Your pool's not working?
And she looks at you real like confused. Like why would you say that?
It's not fair if you're taking things that are parts of a person's self.
And
Cien hears that. Cien hears that and remembers seeing the shadow looming over Cheshire and immediately cracks his little eyes to the big goth lady. He's just staring her down intently.
She looks back at you and is like, I only take the things that, things that are brought to me. I personally don't take items from people.
Who takes the height from people then?
I mean, I haven't heard too much of height being stolen from people, but have you been to the carnival lately?
Oh.
Maybe.
I mean, stranger things have happened, but
How would it end up here? That's my question. I just don't think it's right.
I mean, and she's sitting there and sips her tea and looks you dead in the eye and says, I don't think it's right that you went to the carnival without paying.
Sawyer kind of like chews on the inside of her cheek and weighs her options and realizes that any reason or excuse that she gives for sneaking into that carnival is not going to be enough for this woman, and she's just going to have to accept defeat in this little argument. And she just kind of like, right. Yeah, I'm ready to go, guys. So whenever you're ready, just let me know. And she's just gonna kind of like very tightly grip her hands and like in front of her and just wait grumpily.
You know what? It's going to bother me if I don't ask it now. We promised a friend we would look for Zybilda, and we hope that you might know something about why she's not answering our friends' inquiries.
So as you say the name Zybilna, she immediately snaps her neck and looks at you, and her face immediately doesn't look friendly anymore. And she says, don't ever say that name again.
Did she do something bad?
She doesn't acknowledge.
Come on, lady, I just sang you like a whole ass concert.
Child, stop talking. Don't speak that name.
No, I'm not I didn't say your name. Not a child. I said call me a child.
He's like very grumpy. Just,
We
like,
got
doing,
two
like, the
grumps in
tiny-
the corner now.
like the two, like that meme of the teeny tiny kitten sitting away. It's like, I'm angry.
Don't look at me, I'm angry.
Hello, unholy urinal. By the way, welcome to the party.
Interesting.
Thank you for the follow. That's a name. All right. Seem to have hit a sore subject.
You know, if you guys aren't here to help me with chores, I think you need to go.
I mean, I think it was pretty clear when we were knocked unconscious and dragged here against our will that we weren't here to
Get
help with
out
chores. So,
of my house.
you know, such an unfriendly woman. All right, I didn't like it here anyway.
At least she's not trying to attack us with a hot iron. We should go.
Can I, before we start to head out, make an insight check on the creepy goth girlfriend in the room and see how
was
she
gonna ask
feels
the
about
same
this
thing.
whole back and forth we've just had?
Yeah.
15.
So, as you've been clenching your fists, you've been paying attention, trying to see what's going on. And you see this menacing grin on Charm's face, and her head's kind of dipped down. And, almost like she's been waiting, just basically looking for distractions with Bavlorna. And she's, sipping her tea and says, "Oh, well, would you look at the time? Bavlorna, it's been lovely. I see you have your hands full. You seem to be a little cranky. Nothing against you. But, I should probably get going as well."
Sawyer's gonna clear her throat and say, as we're in the doorway to head out, and I hear this, just say, as a thank you for letting us pass through unharmed, there's some sort of shadow upstairs running around, and you might want to check on it, make sure it's not big rats or something.
Scien's gonna join in and help you with that because he saw it real well.
Yeah, I was looming over my friend, and it was kind of about the height of your friend there.
And who were you saying this to?
Just out into the room.
Okay.
Yeah, just so everyone can hear.
You
Yeah.
You see the look on Charm's face, almost look concerned, but not like you just caught her off guard. And Bavlorna is still kind of furious at the fact that you said Zybilna's name, but is rats. I don't have rats. What? This is my home.
Oh, no, not rats, but something rooting around up there. A shadow looking through your thing.
Yeah. A large lady-shaped shadow.
She
And he kind of starts almost very unsubtly, just kind of going
and she kind of looks and is confused, and she heads upstairs. And Charm makes her way downstairs.
I kind of want to follow Charm.
That's what I was leaning towards too.
I mean, if we're wanting to leave, then down's the way.
That's
And
the way
apparently
out.
she knows the way, so...
So that door to the left with the spiral staircase is where she's going.
I think we're right on our heels.
But
Yeah.
that is where we're going to end for the night.
Oh.
So.
All right, well then I'm saving that guidance Sam gave me for next week. I got one from Sophie and one from Sam because I used the one from Grim.
So, yeah, you guys had a eventful evening tonight.
Yeah, I feel like we were very productive in this session.
It was a
Yeah.
spooky area a little bit. Started off a little rocky, but you got to get mischievous a little bit. So
I got my height back.
you did.
You
And
did.
the best
Atta
part
girl.
is Cien didn't
Yay.
even notice.
No,
But
Sawyer's
to be fair-
just large for Sia, no
be
matter
fair,
what.
he doesn't even know, he's only recently learned that things get taken because he worked at the circus, so he's not had anything taken from him. So he didn't know.
But everyone that hung out with us and enjoyed the session, we do greatly appreciate each and every one of you.
Thanks, guys.
The...
A friend,
Irish Mac snuck in at some point. How did I miss
Hey.
that? Christian JP's been
They
in
rolled
there
high
with
stuff.
us.
That one cleric's been with us for
Trixie showed up. That one cleric's been active in the chat.
On it tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, clerics been doing the campaign themselves.
Yeah.
I bet you they had to have started before us, but alongside us, and is apparently not done with it yet, and has a lot of like comparisons to how this adventure could have gone.
I would
glad
love
to see.
I would love to
his-
hear
his
those
player got
comparisons, Claire.
Right back.
Feel free to message me on Discord. I would love to hear.
Yeah, hey, anybody here not in the Discord? That's where we hang out. In fact,
Join
in
us
a
on
minute here,
Discord.
I'm probably going to be going into the chat on the Discord and streaming some Midnight Ghost Hunt, just because I haven't done it in a week because I've been in Canada. Not everything that I do is Twitch, and not everything that we do together is on Twitch, but I do whatever I can. We try to do stuff in the Discord and hang out and talk and give you guys little spoilers for what's coming and little coupons for, dice and stuff.
Yeah, and people share fan art, and people share new dice that they get, and
Speaking of
chat about all
fan
kinds of
arts,
stuff.
there's some juicy content from 2 different campaigns that are going on.
It's true. It's true.
If you want a chance at making it into the mid-roll, feel free to submit it to, or what was it, hashtag Misty Mountain Arts?
Misty Mountain Art. You can post it in the
tag
Discord.
one of us.
Tag one of us. Send
All
it
kinds
to
of
us.
places. So
Yeah, we've got some new stuff that needs to make it into the reel, but
Yeah.
I've been gone, so I can't.
It
mess
really
with that.
does make our day seeing this story that we're telling kind of come to the light through the eyes of you all hanging out.
It makes me so happy. I don't think it's gotten into the mid reel yet,
It has
but I
not.
have to share.
Is art?
Yeah. It's if you guys remember, Sawyer has a scale of will I punch it?
ranking.
Am I comfortable punching this? And now it's been illustrated with the current parts of the scale. We'll have to add to it as we go.
That's
But I
fantastic.
adore this.
I really like the stuff that Iski chooses to
Yeah.
illustrate. Like there are
Yes.
Yeah.
epic moments of combat and thrilling, escapades and things. And
And then
she's
Sawyer thinking about punching things.
and the other art was from the other one they did was from our Rimehold ritual campaign of just Luca lying on the floor.
No, the message I literally got before I knew that was Issy because it's a different name on Instagram. The
Yeah.
message that I got was just, I drew Luca being done with existence. And I was like,
I gotta see that.
But
So good. It makes me so happy.
That one cleric is the Rook in Discord. And they just joined us up. I thought it said the Rock initially, and I was like,
Yeah,
Dwayne
but
Johnson
The
is that one
Rock.
cleric. That's awesome. I can't do the eyebrow.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We do this not only for us being nerds and playing D&D, but we like to tell the story and having you guys hang out and join us. So
Yeah.
in the meantime,
You guys add to it so much. It's so great.
I believe there's going to be a stream on Friday. What's going on, Rob?
That's
The
that's
big
the
one.
Roblin stream.
The
Roblin
Roblin
the
stream.
So last month we had the inaugural episode of Telly's Tavern, where Sophie dressed up as a dice goblin and did her makeup and had dice facts and entertained, just hung out with the chat, and then did a giveaway. And I think Grimforge was the winner of that giveaway.
So yeah.
Got a nice set of dice from Misty Mountain Gaming, completely free of charge. And we gon' do that again here on Friday. The twist being that the first part of the stream is going to be a makeup tutorial where I make my face into a goblin face. And hopefully when I... hey, Ursal, what's going on? Hopefully by the end of the stream, I will look like a goblin and have done my very first bit of cosplay rigmarole on my face. And I'm sure it will be terrible. It'll be a lot of laughs. I will feel awkward the entire time. and it's just going to be laughs and also free stuff. So make sure you come and support Sophie. Sophie's always a delight, a charming young woman. Whenever she comes onto the screen,
Lovely.
is a wonderful time. We'd have her on all the time if she was available all the time. But she's got a different job than me, so has to do different stuff.
And then on
yeah,
Monday, we're doing spooky stuff.
Yeah, on Monday, if you like the D&D, if you like the Maddy and the Rob and the Tyler, then we're doing it again, and I'm playing another character I realized today who stammers and stutters through his sentences, but in a very different way.
Yeah, in a very different way, with a confidence that Cheshire doesn't quite have yet.
Yes,
I'm
we're getting
playing
there.
A cutesy little purple tiefling debutante who thinks she dictates karma, and I hope to unleash that this time around.
Oh, yeah.
And Ty's an amazing DM. She's
killing it, and
wonderful with her storytelling.
She's very humble and will deflect any compliments we give her, but take our word for it, boys. She good.
But the story is revolving around our characters, and we have great characters.
That's what
guys,
good DMs do.
We
have somebody in this game who's not on this screen, but Steven, the other half of Bardic Twinspiration, literally has Giorgio Sue close in an elf. Like, it's great. Like,
it's gonna be fun. Steve has a knack for making very good characters that he doesn't always get to play to their logical conclusion. And it's because he obsesses over it and takes 6 times of time to make a character that the other person or combination of people do. So yeah, it's good. And Ellie D&D is with us as well. She's playing a hit girl. She's playing Agent 47. If Agent 47 was very Italian.
My character's
She's
cousin.
playing the Godfather. Yeah, she's playing the Godfather.
And then Jane is along, just being. I think she made the comparison to Lena Lamont from Singing in the Rain, which is another one of my favorite movies, which is a pretty apt comparison.
She's basically made as she's told me that it's like you said, but like take that and mix it with like Dita Von Teese.
Yeah.
Because of the showgirl aspect of it, so
yeah, good. It's all good. Once again, I am the weird, like, quasi practical person surrounded by flashy, cool, interesting characters. Yep. One of these days, I'll go to the wild side. We'll see. But anyway, Sam did get in some guidance. I don't know if we missed that or not. That was about 13 minutes ago. You probably saw it already. So glad you're here, Alec. Sorry, we're kind of wrapping things up, but I'm glad you came anyway. There's going to be a VOD in like 60 seconds for you to watch.
Truth.
when the stream ends, it's there.
Friday night, 7 p.m. Same start time as tonight. Cosplay makeup reward stream that all of you have earned, and a dice giveaway. Then Monday, more D&D, kind of spooky, interesting party, and then next Wednesday it'll be this again. And that's, I won't overload you with more because that's all. That's enough. That's enough things to look forward to right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, guys.
And then Wednesday, no.
Right.
And the next day. And the next day.
Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure running for you tonight. I love you all, and have a safe rest of the week, and we will catch you next time. Have a great night.
Check us out on our socials. Give us some love.
Good night, John Boy.
See you night.
Good night, Vexy.
Oh, look at those. Oh, those little cozies. Okay.
Good night.